The divine sword is invincible. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 226. Dare not venture into the sword path. After Yang Xiaoshan came back from Yaofeng, he began to refine the taking UI pill. When refining the pill, he asked Wookiee, Luoking, Atali and others to watch. This time, he still used both the medicine array and the violent storm to refine the pill. During the Imperial Pharmacist competition, he used the Thunder Tribulation Divine Fire and the 9 Phoenix Golden Flame. Now, he changed the 9 Phoenix Golden Flame to the Flame of the Earth. The Flame of the Earth is the first of the strange fires, and its power is much stronger than the 9 Phoenix Golden Flame. In addition, Yang Xiaoshan's strength has greatly increased in recent days, so it is much easier to refine the taking UI pill. However, what he refined is still the best. This is also within Yang Xiaoshan's expectations. After all, he is only in the Wuwang realm now, and it is too difficult to refine the best taking UI pill. Next, Yang Xiaoshan refined 3 more pills, all of which are top grade. Taking UI pill, Yang Xiaoshan, Luoking and others don't need it, so he gave all 4 taking UI pills to Wookiee for cultivation. Wookiee has been stuck at the peak of the 10th level of the Martial Emperor for many years. Now he is on the verge of a breakthrough, and the breakthrough is just around the corner. With these 4 taking UI pills, Wookiee's breakthrough will be much smoother. In the past month, Yang Xiaoshan has asked Luoking to select 80 people from his servants. After Luoking and others repaired the mountain, the entire mountain has changed a lot. Originally, there was no road on the mountain. Now, the road has long been repaired. Outside the cave, a huge martial arts training ground has also been repaired. Usually, Luoking, Liyuan, Liu-kun and others compete and exchange ideas in the martial arts training ground. At the same time, 10 medicinal fields have been built in the mountain, and many spiritual medicines have been planted. In addition, Yang Xiaoshan asked Luoking to build a large orchard of 100 acres. Various rare spiritual fruit trees are planted in it. With the spiritual energy of the mountain, it will not take a few years for the spiritual fruit trees to mature, and there will be endless delicious spiritual fruits every year. This is the advantage of the mountain. It is incomparable to the courtyard of the inner disciples. Yang Xiaoshan also selected a huge stone, cut it into a stone tablet with sword energy, and then placed it on the top of the mountain, and wrote on the tablet, Tangshan Peak. From now on, his mountain will be called Tangshan Peak. One day, Yang Xiaoshan summoned the Ice Flame Kirin and the Azure Thunder Python, and asked about the mysterious existence in the Red Moon Forest. Although he now has the Ice Flame Kirin and the Azure Thunder Python, Yang Xiaoshan still feels that he is not strong enough. Young master, do you want to subdue Laohei? Asked the Ice Flame Kirin. Laohei? Yang Xiaoshan was stunned. The Ice Flame Kirin nodded. Hundreds of years ago, I fought with Laohei. Its whole body was shrouded in darkness, its eyes were terrifyingly red, and its body was huge. Recalling that scene hundreds of years ago, the Ice Flame Kirin still felt palpitations. Damn, that guy's power is so fierce. I can split the mountain and crack the earth with one claw. That guy can definitely destroy the sea with one claw. Obviously, the Ice Flame Kirin suffered a great loss in that fight. Yang Xiaoshan was surprised. The whole body is shrouded in darkness. The Azure Thunder Python did not expect that hundreds of years ago, Laobing and the existence in the Red Moon Forest that made him extremely afraid had a claw. So, it is a dark beast. The Azure Thunder Python was surprised. Bingai and Killin nodded. It is definitely a dark beast, but I'm not sure what its body is. But its body is probably bigger than Laomeng when it stands up. Bigger than me. The Azure Thunder Python was surprised. It sat cross-legged, bigger than a mountain. The opponent's body is bigger than it. How big it must be. Laobing, how strong is the opponent? Yang Xiaoshan asked. Bingai and Killin looked solemn. Very strong. I was overturned at that time, and retreated for several miles. One claw blast. Overturned Bingai and Killin for several miles. Yang Xiaoshan was shocked. Laobing is a super beast, and its strength is imaginable, but it was still overturned for several miles by the opponent. No wonder it said that the opponent's strength is too strong. If I break through the realm of the gods, I may have the strength to fight the opponent. Bingayan Killin said, but it's difficult to subdue the opponent. Having the strength to fight and subduing are two different concepts. Even if we join forces with Lao Meng, it won't work. Yang Xiaoshan asked. No. Bingayan Killin shook his head. Yang Xiaoshan couldn't help but wake up the medicine cauldron. Ding Yi said lazily, it's a small problem. As long as there is the 7th heaven tribulation thunder water, I can perform my meteor roll at any time. 7th heaven tribulation thunder water? Yang Xiaoshan was speechless. He had to work very hard to get the 6th heaven tribulation thunder water. Where can he get the 7th heaven tribulation thunder water? 6th heaven tribulation thunder water is not okay. Yang Batian asked. 6th heaven tribulation thunder water is not okay. Ding Yi said very clearly. It seems that the only way is to find the 7th heaven tribulation thunder water. After getting Ding Yi's clear reply, Yang Xiaoshan could only ask Luo King to inquire about the 7th heaven tribulation thunder water. Another 10 days passed. These days, Yang Xiaoshan mainly practices the Dragon Clan magical power and thunder of 9 days in the mountain. He has practiced thunder of 9 days for more than 20 moves. However, he is still far from the 49th move. Therefore, it will take some time for him to open the palace of the ancient thunder god cave mansion. Yang Xiaoshan feels that there should be 6-fold heavenly tribulation thunder water in that palace, and there may even be 7-fold heavenly tribulation thunder water. In addition to Yang Xiaoshan's practice, the entire Tangshan Peak is practicing hard. Before, the Ice Flame Kirin killed a 10th-fold Holy Realm Ice Dragon and gave the power of the true dragon origin to Yang Xiaoshan, but there was also an Ice Dragon Dragon Ball, which it and the Sky Blue Thunder Python did not need, so it was given to the Black Flood Dragon King. After refining the Ice Dragon Dragon Ball, the Black Flood Dragon King's bloodline is one step closer to the Divine Beast. As the new year is approaching, Yang Xiaoshan asked Luo King and others to go to the Azure Dragon Chamber of Commerce to purchase New Year's goods. In the afternoon, after Luo King came back from shopping for New Year's goods, he reported to Yang Xiaoshan the news he had heard. Sir, now everyone in the True Dragon Divine sect is talking about Yu Yi's breakthrough in the Sword Road. Yu Yi was a seed disciple specially recruited in advance, and was also favored by Long Hao, and would become Long Hao's personal disciple, so his every move was closely watched by all the disciples of the True Dragon Divine sect. Yu Yi has already reached the 3rd sword monument. Luo King said. Oh, the 3rd sword monument. Yang Xiaoshan was slightly surprised. There are a total of 18 sword monuments in the Sword Road. Yu Yi has only been in the True Dragon Divine sect for more than 2 months, and he has already reached the 3rd sword monument. The speed is not slow. Luo King nodded. In more than 2 months, he has reached the 3rd sword monument. Yu Yi has broken the record of the True Dragon Divine sect, and has even alarmed the high-level leaders of the True Dragon Divine sect. Some people say that Yu Yi can even reach the end of the Sword Road. At this point, Luo King hesitated and said, many disciples are still saying that you are afraid of not daring to break into the Sword Road. I'm afraid? What am I afraid of? Yang Xiaoshan couldn't help laughing. These days, he has been practicing the Dragon Clan magical power and thunder of the 9 heavens at Tangshan Peak, and has not heard anything about the outside world. Unexpectedly, someone is fanning the flames. It is said that you are afraid of losing to Yu Yi, so you dare not venture into the sword path. Chapter 227 The Whereabouts of the 10,000 Dragon Divine Flame. Yang Xiaoshan just laughed it off. Now, the most important thing for him is to cultivate his magical power and condense the strongest golden elixir. After he condenses the strongest golden elixir and breaks through the realm of martial arts, it won't be too late to break into the sword path. However, the Sword Tower of Xiandao Academy is 18 floors, and the Sword Path of the True Dragon sect is 18 sword monuments. Yang Xiaoshan always feels that there is some connection between the two. Have you heard about the news of the 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame? Yang Xiaoshan asked. When he entered the True Dragon sect, the main purpose was for the 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame. The Thunder Tribulation Divine Fire is the 14th Divine Fire. The 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame is the 11th Divine Fire. If he can get the 10,000 dragons divine flame, then the 2 divine fires will be used to refine pills at the same time, which will definitely shock the world. King shook his head. No, the disciples of the True Dragon sect know that the True Dragon sect has the 10,000 dragons divine flame, but no one knows where the 10,000 dragons divine flame is. It seems that only the True Dragon sect's sect master or the successive sect masters know where the 10,000 dragons divine flame is. Yang Xiaoshan frowned. If so, it's quite troublesome. He couldn't let the Ice Flame Kirin and the Sky Blue Thunder Python kidnap Hunan, then put a knife on his neck and say, "Hey, old man, where is the 10,000 dragons divine flame?" Since the 10,000 dragons divine flame is hidden so mysteriously, it must not be in a place that is easy to find. Perhaps the 10,000 dragons divine flame is in the True Dragon secret realm. The Black Dragon King suddenly said, "True Dragon secret realm." Yang Xiaoshan's expression was lifted. Although it was just the Black Dragon King's guess, it is really possible that the 10,000 dragons divine flame is in the True Dragon secret realm. After all, not everyone can enter the True Dragon secret realm. In this case, he must win the first place in this True Dragon assessment. Sir, I heard that when the True Dragon assessment is held, the top 10 super sects in the Empire, the Kinglian restaurant, the Imperial family and many other super forces will send masters to come. King said. Yang Xiaoshan was surprised. Because Long Hao wants to accept Yu Yi as his disciple, the apprenticeship ceremony will be the day after the True Dragon assessment. Long Hao accepting a disciple is a major event in the Empire, so many super forces in the Empire will send masters to participate. King explained. That's no wonder, Yang Xiaoshan thought secretly. However, since there will be masters from the Imperial family coming, then Long Lan and King Zuan will also come, right? Afterwards, Yang Xiaoshan asked King to continue to inquire about the news of other divine fires and the other 10 strange fires. He didn't want other strange fires, but he still wanted to subdue the 10 strange fires. After King left, Yang Xiaoshan didn't practice, but walked out of the palace, intending to stroll around the mountain. He has been practicing almost all these days, and hasn't visited Tangshan Peak properly. When passing by the orchard, he found that his father and mother were busy pruning fruit trees. Yang Xiaoshan hurried forward. "Father, mother, you can let your men do these things." Huang Ying smiled and said, "Linga likes to eat all kinds of fruits. When she comes out and sees so many delicious fruits, she will definitely be very happy." Yang Xiaoshan smiled when he heard this. Indeed, the girl likes to eat fruits in addition to candy. It was because he knew that the girl liked to eat that he planted such a large orchard, and he chose the fruit species that the girl liked to eat. Seeing his parents busy, Yang Xiaoshan also stepped forward to help. In the blink of an eye, a few days passed. The new year has arrived. All the peaks and halls of the True Dragon sect are busy and festive. Yang Xiaoshan's Tangshan Peak is also busy and festive. Yang Xiaoshan gave everyone in Tangshan Peak a big red envelope. Xiao Jin received Yang Xiaoshan's big red envelope, and his mouth was crooked with smiles. The big red envelopes from the young master are getting bigger every year. Now, the money in the young master's red envelope is enough for him to buy candy for many years. Yang Chao and Huang Ying also gave everyone a big red envelope, and the one for Yang Xiaoshan was the biggest. Yang Xiaoshan happily accepted the big red envelope from his parents. "Xiaoshan will be as tall as me in 2 years. Huang Ying looked at her son with a smile on her face. After the new year, Yang Xiaoshan will be 10 years old. Because of practicing the dragon art, Yang Xiaoshan is taller than children of the same age. He is now more than 1.4 meters tall, and he has his own momentum, and is very handsome. Yang Chao looked at his son, and was filled with emotion. Time flies. A few years ago, they were still celebrating the new year in Yangji as Huang. He never thought that one day, his son and daughter would be able to join the top 10 super sects in the empire. On the first day of the new year, Yang Xiaoshan took his parents to visit the True Dragon sect. The gate of the True Dragon sect is larger than the imperial capital. There are peaks and halls, sacred mountains and waters, birds singing and flowers blooming. In the past, everyone went shopping every year, but this year they went sightseeing and had a different new year. However, when Yang Xiaoshan and others were about to go home, they met Hu Yu and his men on the road. Hu Yu was naturally unhappy when he saw Yang Xiaoshan. Yang Xiaoshan, I heard that you named your mountain Tangshan Peak. What a big mouth. People who don't know would think you are the leader of the Tangshan sect. Yang Xiaoshan said calmly, I heard that you named your mountain Jianshan Peak. You are even more arrogant. People who don't know would think you are a female sword god. You. Hu Yu's face flushed. Yang Xiaoshan no longer cared about the other party and left with everyone. Hu Yu was so angry that her teeth started to itch. Watching Yang Xiaoshan leave, Hu Yu angrily said, wait, when the true dragon assessment comes, I'll make you and your sister look bad. The true dragon assessment is for all new disciples to participate. Although Hu Yu and Yang Linga joined the True Dragon sect earlier than Yang Xiaoshan, they are also new disciples of the True Dragon sect, so they will participate. The new year passed quickly. Yang Xiaoshan resumed his practice day after day. Under his hard work, all the supreme magical powers of the Dragon Clan and the Cheyenne Lang treasure were cultivated to the state of perfection. As for Shadow Night Walk, Lei Dongjiushan also made rapid progress, especially Shadow Night Walk, which has been cultivated to the peak of great success and is almost able to break through to perfection. And his cultivation has also reached the peak of the 10th level of the Martial King. Although it is only February, the journey to the Blue Sea Dragon Palace is long, so Yang Xiaoshan plans to set off more than a month in advance. Since this departure will take several months, Yang Xiaoshan told his parents that he was going on a long journey. Yang Chao and Huang Ying knew that Yang Xiaoshan would be away for several months, and they couldn't help but worry. Yang Xiaoshan nodded. Father, mother, don't worry, I will definitely come back when the True Dragon assessment is held. How about you wait until Linga comes out of the True Dragon secret realm before you leave? Huang Ying said. In another half a month, Yang Linga came out of the True Dragon secret realm. No. Yang Xiaoshan shook his head and took out a space ring. This is a candy I bought for Linga. Then, under the watchful eyes of Yang Chao, Huang Ying and others, he performed the Sky Thousand Swords and disappeared into the sky. This time, he only brought the Ice Flame Kirin and the Azure Thunder Python. As for the Black Dragon King, he stayed in Tangshan Peak. Yang Xiaoshan still flew on the Azure Thunder Python. Half a month later, they entered the Four Continents Empire. Chapter 228, Jade Sea Cult. Entering the Four Continents Empire, Yang Xiaoshan could clearly feel the difference between the two empires. First of all, it was the architectural style. The walls of the cities of the Four Continents Empire were almost covered with green plants. There were large and small lakes in many cities. Secondly, it was the cultivation methods. The cultivation methods practiced by the disciples of the sects of the Four Continents Empire were mostly water-based. The disciples he met along the way almost all used water-based martial arts and magical powers. The Four Continents Empire has 4 continents, and the 4 continents are actually the 4 seas. Cheyenne King Li Mang said, the 4 seas almost occupy half of the area of the Four Continents Empire. So, many sects in the Four Continents Empire are built on islands. Yang Xiaoshan nodded. Among the 4 seas, the Blue Sea is the largest, and the Blue Sea is in the extreme north of the Four Continents Empire, so he had to set off more than a month in advance. After entering the Four Continents Empire, the two of them kept going all the way to the Blue Sky continent. On the way, Yang Xiaoshan was not idle either. In addition to continuing to practice the supreme magical powers of the Dragon Clan, he was also refining pills. Sitting on a beast, refining pills while flying, Yang Xiaoshan is probably the only one in the world who can do this. However, he is not refining the taking UI pill, but the top grade Jiuang Wanshao pill. Because of this, the difficulty is much smaller. Now, he is at the peak of the 10th level of Wu Wang and is about to break through Wu Zhang. When he condenses the golden pill, he needs a huge amount of true essence to support it. Therefore, he has to prepare a large number of top-grade Jiuang Wanshao pills in advance. Although he has refined 30 or 40 Jiuang Wanshao pills, he is worried that it is not enough, so he continues to refine. After all, he will condense the strongest golden pill, and the number of Jiuang Wanshao pills he needs is definitely an astonishing number. There was no trouble along the way. When Yang Zai Ocean arrived at the blue sea, it was more than 10 days later. Yang Zai Ocean looked up and saw the blue sea and blue sky, and the sea was endless. Above the sea, disciples of the sect riding birds can be seen everywhere. On the sea, there were ships, iron ships, wooden ships, and even giant ships. These giant ships were dozens of stories high, and were filled with disciples and guards from a certain sect. These giant ships belonged to the major superpowers of the Four Continents Empire. In order not to attract attention, Yang Zai Ocean put away the Azure Thunder Python, and used the Sky Thousand Swords to fly. In the depths of the Azure Sea, there are layers of brilliance, and there are sounds of dragons roaring. I heard that a peerless dragon treasure is about to be born. Let's hurry over. It's useless even if we rush over. The Azure Sea Divine Sect has already blocked the deep sea area of the Azure Sea, and no one can enter at all. Just as Yang Zai Ocean flew to the deep sea, he heard many disciples of the sect talking on the way. These disciples were almost all talking about the birth of a peerless dragon treasure in the deep sea. However, when he learned that the Azure Sea Divine Sect had blocked the deep sea area of the Azure Sea, Yang Zai Ocean frowned. The Azure Sea Divine Sect is the most powerful superpower in the Four Continents Empire, and its strength is much stronger than that of the True Dragon Sect. If the deep blue sea is really blocked, it will be a big trouble. A few days later, Yang Zai Ocean came to the deep blue sea. As those sect disciples said, the deep blue sea had long been blocked by the blue sea divine religion. There were masters patrolling the deep blue sea divine religion everywhere. There were tens of thousands of them. I'm afraid that not even a fly could fly in. Seeing this, Yang Zai Ocean could only force his way in. After all, no one knew when the blue sea divine religion would block it. If it was blocked for a few months, the True Dragon assessment would have ended long ago. This time, the blue sea divine religion sent out all the masters for the dragon treasure that was about to be born in the deep blue sea. Even more than a dozen Saint Realms were dispatched, and even the 10th level Saint Realm ancestors were dispatched. Usually, such a person in the 10th level of the Saint Realm would not leave the sect, but now, the 10th level Saint Realm ancestors of the Blue Sea Divine Religion were dispatched in person, and there were 2 of them. The 2 10th level Saint Realm ancestors were in charge in person, which made all the other sect masters who were still hoping for a lucky break stop in surprise. There are 2 10th level ancestors guarding there. Who dares to step forward? Isn't that a waste of life? Li Wanshao and Zhangbo are the 2 10th level ancestors in the Holy Realm, who are in charge this time. The 2 were staring at the sea ahead boredly. They have blocked this sea area for more than 10 days. The light in front is getting brighter and brighter, but the dragon baby in the seabed is like a sissy and never comes out. Damn, why hasn't it come out yet? Zhangbo, who has a bit of a bad temper, said angrily. Li Wanshao said calmly, no hurry, it should be soon. Zhangbo's forehead was black. Didn't you say it would be soon 10 days ago? Just as he was about to speak, suddenly, a scream rang out. The 2 turned around in astonishment, only to feel the sky darken, and saw a huge super green python flying over. With a sweep of its giant tail, all the disciples of the Blue Sea Divine Sect who were blocking it were shot away. The King of Divine Beasts, Sky Blue Thunder Python. The 2 were shocked. Wasn't the King of Divine Beasts, the Sky Blue Thunder Python, in the Red Moon Forest? How could it appear here? What shocked the 2 even more was that there was a person standing on the head of the King of the Divine Beasts, the Azure Thunder Python. A person wearing a dragon head mask, and shrouded in darkness. The 2 were shocked. Who is this person? He actually subdued the King of the Divine Beasts, the Azure Thunder Python. Seeing that the disciples of the Blue Sea Sect were about to rush up to stop them, the 2 shouted in a hurry, stop. Then they suppressed their surprise and flew forward. What's your name, sir? Li Wanshao took a deep breath, clasped his fists to Yang Zai Ocean and said, I wonder why you and Senior Thunder Python are here? Zhangbo's mouth was dry. You can call me Lord Long. Yang Zai Ocean looked at the 2 and said indifferently, I want the dragon treasure here, and you people from the Blue Sea Sect can leave. Li Wanshao, Zhangbo, and the elders and disciples of the Blue Sea Sect all changed their faces. Zhangbo could not help but said angrily, Your Excellency is going too far. This dragon treasure belongs to our Jade Sea Divine Sect. You are strong, but our Jade Sea Divine Sect is not made of clay. I'm not talented. I would like to learn from you and Senior Thunder Python's skills. Li Wanxiao also said angrily. The Jade Sea Divine Sect is one of the strongest super sects in the Four Continents Empire. It is impossible for the other party to hand over this treasure just because of a word. Upon hearing this, the sky blue thunder python snorted coldly, and the sound was like thunder in the sky. Then, from the sky, millions of divine thunders fell down, covering the surrounding sea area of 100 miles. Endless divine power emanated from the sky blue thunder python. It's a god. Retreat quickly. Li Wanxiao and Zhangbo screamed in fear and retreated madly at the same time. The other elders and disciples of the Jade Sea Divine Sect were also terrified and frantically avoided. Just as Li Wanxiao and others retreated in fear, millions of divine thunders hit the sea. Bang 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 bang. The loud noise continued. The sea area of 100 miles was blown up, and the waves of thousands of feet rushed to the sky, and the entire sea surface seemed to be lifted up. The terrifying force blew away countless disciples of the Blue Sea Divine Sect. Chapter 229. Meeting Thunder Python in person. Li Wanxiao and Zhangbo, who had just dodged, looked at the disciples of the Blue Sea Divine Sect who were blown away, and their hair stood up, and their spines were cold. The disciples of the Blue Sea Divine Sect were blown away by thousands of divine thunders, and their limbs flew everywhere, and blood was like rain. If they were a step slower to dodge, their fate would not be much better than these disciples. They looked at the huge azure thunder python in front of them with their eyes wide open. It turned out to be a god. Before, they thought that the azure thunder python was still at the peak of the Saint Realm, so they dared to join forces to fight the azure thunder python. Who would have thought that the azure thunder python had already broken through the god realm? Li Wanxiao and Zhangbo's hearts were beating wildly, and their faces were pale. If the azure thunder python was still at the peak of the Saint Realm, they might have a chance to fight if more than a dozen Saint Realms joined forces. But now that the azure thunder python has broken through the god realm, if they dare to provoke it again, it would be purely courting death. The azure thunder python will teach them how to write the word death in a minute. The remaining disciples of the Blue Sea Divine Sect looked at the mighty azure thunder python and were so frightened that their souls and hands and feet were shaking. Just now, some disciples relied on their numbers and wanted to kill the azure thunder python and then make soup with it. Who would have thought that it would be so powerful? Gods, such existences, even many of the Blue Sea Divine Sect's holy disciples would hardly see them at ordinary times. Fortunately, after the azure thunder python's attack, it did not attack again. The world was quiet for a while. Only the waves that were blown away continued to fall from the sky. Why don't you get out? Yang Xiaoshan looked at Li Wanxiao, Zhangbo and others. Li Wanxiao and Zhangbo woke up in shock, as if they were pardoned, and then they fled in panic. The other disciples of the Blue Sea Divine Sect dared not stay any longer, and fled one after another. For a time, all the disciples of the Blue Sea Divine Sect escaped. Everything returned to calm. Yang Xiaoshan continued to fly forward while driving the azure thunder python. He arrived at the brilliant sea. This should be the range of the Blue Sea Dragon Palace. Astonishing cold air kept floating out from the bottom of the sea. Even though Yang Xiaoshan was standing above the sea, he still felt the chill penetrate his bones. He knew that this was the extreme cold air. Let's go down, Yang Xiaoshan said to the azure thunder python. The azure thunder python nodded, and the lightning flashed all over its body, directly blasting the sea surface, and then took Yang Xiaoshan into the seabed. The two quickly disappeared in the surging waves. After entering the sea, the cold air was even more astonishing. Groups of cold air kept coming out from the bottom of the sea. It was not white, but grey, a grey and hazy piece. Yang Xiaoshan felt as if even his soul was frozen. He quickly summoned the Thunder Tribulation Divine Fire. The Thunder Tribulation Divine Fire was entangled, and the thunder and fire were surging. All the cold air within 100 meters around was completely dissipated. Seeing the Thunder Tribulation Divine Fire was so powerful, Yang Xiaoshan felt relieved. The azure thunder python joked. Fortunately, the Thunder Tribulation Divine Fire of the young master, otherwise my lower body would be frozen into a popsicle. Thinking of the appearance of a popsicle, Yang Xiaoshan laughed. One man and one beast kept flying deep into the seabed. The blue sea was deeper than Yang Xiaoshan had imagined. He went down thousands of meters, but still could not see the bottom. When he was thousands of meters below the sea, it was dark all around, and the sea was terribly quiet. The colder he went, the stronger it became. When he was thousands of meters below the sea, the extremely cold air was no longer bubbling, but gushing out from the ground, like magma gushing out of a volcano. Affected by the extremely cold air, the seawater below was completely frozen into ice. Under the power of the thunder tribulation divine fire, the seawater melted layer by layer. Yang Zai Ocean and his companions slowed down a lot. Moreover, the pressure on the seabed was extremely heavy. If it weren't for the sky blue thunder python, even if Yang Zai Ocean had the thunder tribulation divine fire, he would not have been able to reach the bottom of the sea. An hour later, Yang Zai Ocean and his companions finally reached the bottom of the sea. There was a faint blue light in front of them. Yang Zai Ocean and his companions flew forward, and soon they saw a group of palaces. Blue Sea Dragon Palace. Seeing the palace group, Yang Zai Ocean smiled. The Sky Blue Thunder Python also felt relieved and smiled. Soon, the two of them arrived at the square in front of the Dragon Palace. Standing in front of the Dragon Palace, the original extremely cold air and seawater pressure suddenly disappeared, as if an invisible force blocked all the cold air and all the seawater pressure outside. At this time, Bingai and Killen also walked out of the medicine cauldron. In the Azure Sea Dragon Palace, the ancient dragon clan had many restrictions. For Yang Zai Ocean's safety, Bingai and Killen decided to join forces with the Azure Thunder Python to open the way for Yang Zai Ocean in front. Just when Yang Zai Ocean and others were about to break into the Azure Sea Dragon Palace, Li Wanshao, Zhang Bo and others fled back to the Azure Sea Divine Religion. Somewhere in the Azure Sea, there was a huge island as big as a continent floating. This was the Azure Sea Divine Island, and it was also the location of the Azure Sea Divine Religion's mountain gate. The Azure Sea Temple, standing in the center of the Azure Sea Divine Island, towering into the sky. At this time, the Azure Sea Temple was filled with a group of masters of the Azure Sea Divine Religion. It was a dark mass, all of them were in the Holy Realm. The Azure Thunder Python suddenly appeared in the Azure Sea, and thousands of disciples of the Azure Sea Divine Religion were killed. This matter has alarmed all the high-level members of the Azure Sea Divine Religion. So what if the Azure Thunder Python is the king of divine beasts? We can't just let it go. After killing thousands of my Bihei disciples, and taking away my dragon family treasures, said Du Zhen, an old ancestor at the peak of the 10th level of the Holy Realm. Among the thousands of disciples killed this time, 2 of them were his personal disciples. How could he not be angry when the disciples he had trained for many years were killed just like that? Yes, they killed thousands of my Bihei disciples. If we don't even dare to fart, how can we face the other super sects in the 4 continents empire? Said another old ancestor at the late 10th level of the Holy Realm. Zhao Crossing, the leader of the Bihei Divine Religion, suddenly asked Li Wanshao, "You said that mysterious man called himself Lord Long?" Yes, Li Wanshao recalled. He was wearing a dragon head mask, and was not tall. Zhao Crossing's eyes were filled with surprise. It was shocking that the Azure Thunder Python, the king of divine beasts, broke through the divine realm, but I didn't expect that he was subdued by someone. This was more than shocking. Since the other party called himself Lord Long, could he be a master of the dragon family? Let someone check the identity of this Lord Long. At this time, a majestic voice sounded. Everyone looked over and saw that a silver-haired old man had appeared in the hall. Zhao Crossing, Du Zhen, and Li Wanshao all stood up and bowed respectfully when they saw the silver-haired old man, saying, "Meet the ancestor." The man who came was Liu Yang, the most powerful ancestor of the Blue Sea Divine Sect. He was also one of the 3 great masters of the divine realm of the Blue Sea Divine Sect. Liu Yang had not appeared in the world for many years, since he broke through the divine realm. Has the Sky Blue Thunder Python entered the seabed? Liu Yang asked Li Wanshao. Yes, ancestor, they should want to enter the Blue Sea Dragon Palace. Li Wanshao quickly replied. Liu Yang shook his head. How can the Blue Sea Dragon Palace be so easy to enter? Then he said, let people continue to block the sea area. I will go to meet the Thunder Python in person. Hearing that, the ancestor said that he would meet the Sky Blue Thunder Python in person. All the masters of the Blue Sea Divine Sect were greatly excited. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. we cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 230, Jade Dragon Heavenly Cauldron. That Lord Long, can you tell what kind of strength he has? Liu Yang turned to ask Li Wanshao. Li Wanshao pondered and said, the other party didn't attack, but he shouldn't be in the divine realm. Liu Yang nodded. As long as he's not in the divine realm, it's easy to deal with. I'll go with you. At this moment, another figure broke through the air. The person who came was Ziwiqiang, another divine realm of the Blue Sea Divine Sect. Zhao Crossing, Du Zhen and others hurried forward to pay their respects. Liu Yang saw Ziwiqiang and smiled. Okay. Let's join forces to kill this thunder python and divide its flesh and blood and inner elixir. Originally, he was not sure that he could deal with the sky blue thunder python alone, but with Ziwiqiang, his confidence increased. The sky blue thunder python must have broken through recently. The two of them broke through many years ago, and the two of them joined forces. They could definitely suppress the sky blue thunder python. It's a pity that Liu Jiang is not here, Ziwiqiang said. The Liu Jiang he mentioned was Jiangfeng, another divine realm of the Blue Sea Divine Sect, who was also the strongest among the three. Jiangfeng went to the heavenly sect of the Dragon Empire a few days ago, and has not returned yet. Liu Yang said confidently, even if Liu Jiang is not here, the two of us will join forces and the Azure Thunder Python will not be able to escape. A moment later, the army of the Blue Sea Divine Cult swarmed out and blocked the sea again. Liu Yang and Ziwiqiang came to the sky above the previous sea area, then broke through the sea surface. Both entered the seabed and came to the Blue Sea Dragon Palace on the seabed. However, the extremely cold air on the seabed was too strong, and in the end, the two had to summon the divine armor. Even so, after the two came to the seabed 2,000 meters, they still couldn't move an inch. At this time, Yangzai Ocean, Bingai Qilin, and Azure Thunder Python had already entered the Blue Sea Dragon Palace. Although Bingai Qilin and Azure Thunder Python were confident in their strength, they were very careful every step after entering the Dragon Palace, and they did not dare to be careless. The Dragon Clan restrictions in this Dragon Palace are no joke. If you are not careful, even the 7th level of the gods will be bombarded to death. Even if they were extremely careful, when entering a palace, some kind of space restriction was still automatically triggered. Suddenly, endless dragon sword energy flooded the three people. Young master, retreat quickly. Bingai Qilin and Giant King Thunder Python's faces changed, and they attacked with all their strength at the same time, leading Yangzai Ocean out of the palace. Even so, Bingai Qilin and Giant King Thunder Python were still blasted back again and again. Fortunately, when the dragon sword energy hit the palace gate, it all stopped there. Bingai Qilin and Giant King Thunder Python breathed a sigh of relief. Damn it, it's been so many years, and the restrictions of this dragon palace are still so terrifying. Bingai Qilin complained. Many years ago, he had entered the Azure Sea Dragon Palace. He was still afraid of the Azure Sea Dragon Palace. I think we should go back to the True Dragon Sect and kill that Tyrannosaurus Rex. Bingai Qilin shook his head and said, although the Dragon Palace has the power of the True Dragon origin, it is as difficult as ascending to heaven to get it. Get lost. Giant King Thunder Python said unhappily. Is there no way to break these dragon restrictions? Yangzai Ocean frowned. Bingai Qilin said, these dragon restrictions were set up by the ancient dragon clan strongmen. Even the 10th level of the divine spirit cannot break them. The 10th level of the divine spirit cannot break them? Yangzai Ocean had no choice but to wake up Yaoding and ask Yaoding if he could take him in a palace and a mouthful of 6th level heavenly tribulation thunder water. Yaoding said. Yangzai Ocean's forehead was black. Last time, in order to subdue Bingai Qilin, Yaoding had swallowed 20 mouthfuls. There was not much 6th level heavenly tribulation thunder water left on him. However, in the end, Yangzai Ocean still gritted his teeth and gave Yaoding a mouthful of 6th level heavenly tribulation thunder water first. After taking a mouthful of the 6th heaven tribulation thunder water, the medicine cauldron's light surged, protecting Yangzai Ocean. Wait for me here first. Yangzai Ocean said to the Ice Flame Kirin and the Azure Thunder Python, and then carefully stepped into the palace gate. The dragon sword key came like a tide. But no matter how the dragon sword key bombarded, it could never break the medicine cauldron's light. Seeing this, Yang Xiaoshan was completely relieved, and then walked into the palace. But to Yang Xiaoshan's disappointment, the palace was empty, with only a stone wall carved with a dragon, which seemed to be some kind of dragon clan magic. He already had enough dragon clan magic, and he was not interested in comprehending it. After searching for a while, and making sure there were no other treasures, Yang Xiaoshan left the palace. After leaving the palace, thinking of the 6th heaven tribulation thunderwater, he felt very distressed. After all, the 6th heaven tribulation thunderwater was one less mouthful each time it was used. Now, he only had 4 mouthfuls left. Then, Yang Xiaoshan and his companions came to the second palace. Yang Xiaoshan gave Yaoding another mouthful of 6-fold heavenly tribulation thunderwater, and then, under the protection of Yaoding's power, he entered the second palace. This palace was better, with many gold coins and a dragon bull inlaid on the dragon chair. However, he still did not find the true dragon's original power. When he came out, Yang Xiaoshan directly moved the gold coins and the dragon chair away. When he came to the third palace, Yang Xiaoshan still gave Yaoding a mouthful of 6-fold heavenly tribulation thunderwater. This time, it was not gold coins or dragon balls, but a large number of Dragon Clan martial arts secrets. Looking at the wall full of Dragon Clan martial arts secrets, Yang Xiaoshan couldn't help but say damn. What he wanted was the true dragon's original power. What's the use of these Dragon Clan martial arts secrets? Yang Xiaoshan continued to the fourth palace. Now, he only had 2 mouthfuls of 6-fold heavenly tribulation thunderwater on him. He took a deep breath, used another mouthful of 6-fold heavenly tribulation thunderwater, and walked into the fourth palace nervously. When he walked into the fourth palace, a strange fragrance of elixir filled his nose. Yang Xiaoshan looked over and saw a huge dragon tripod in the center of the hall, and the fragrance of the elixir came from the jade bottle next to the dragon tripod. On the wall next to the hall, there were 4 dragon beads, illuminating the hall as bright as day. There was a large medicine cabinet on the wall, with jade bottles placed on it. Obviously, this palace was used for alchemy. This tripod is not bad. Just as Yang Xiaoshan looked up to find the true dragon's original power, Yaoding spoke. Yang Xiaoshan's eyes fell on the dragon tripod. What is this? Divine artifact. Yaoding said. Yang Xiaoshan was shocked. The dragon tripod in front of him turned out to be a divine artifact. You know, even the top 10 super sects of the Dragon Empire don't have many holy artifact tripod furnaces, and as for the divine artifact tripod furnace, even the imperial family of the Dragon Empire doesn't have it. Before Yang Xiaoshan came to the dragon tripod, he looked at the dragon tripod carefully. If he guessed correctly, this dragon tripod should be the Jade Dragon Heavenly Tripod. The Jade Dragon Heavenly Tripod is one of the 4 great divine tripods in the Kangshan continent. However, he was not in a hurry to refine the Jade Dragon Heavenly Cauldron. Instead, he picked up the jade bottle next to the divine cauldron. Inside the jade bottle, he saw a small green dragon. But the green dragon exuded the fragrance of the elixir. The elixir has transformed. Yang Xiaoshan was shocked. Only holy level elixirs can transform. This means that this elixir is a holy elixir. And it is a dragon level holy elixir. Chapter 231 Breakthrough Wuzang. In the Dragon Empire, no pharmacist can make a divine pill. Because only the god of medicine can make a divine pill. Therefore, the best pill is the holy pill. The Dragon Clan holy pill is undoubtedly one of the best holy pills. The Dragon Clan holy pill in front of him is the holy pill of the best quality, the Azure Dragon holy pill. Looking at the Azure Dragon holy pill in front of him, Yang Xiaoshan's heart speeded up. This pill alone is a priceless treasure. If this pill is taken out for auction, it will definitely cause crazy bidding by powerful people from all sides, and even the god realm will be shocked. One Azure Dragon holy pill can be equivalent to decades of hard work in the god realm. Yang Xiaoshan put away the Azure Dragon holy pill, then came to the medicine cabinet, and began to open the jade bottles one by one to look for the power of the true dragon origin. However, to his disappointment, these medicine bottles, without exception, are all pills. Almost all of them are emperor pills. Although the Emperor Pill is not as rare as the Holy Pill, it is also a great treasure. But Yang Ocean is not happy, because what he needs most at the moment is the power of the true dragon origin. After searching through all the medicine bottles and confirming that there was no true dragon origin power, Yang Ocean was depressed. Did he really have to go back and kill the Tyrannosaurus Rex of the True Dragon sect? Otherwise, where could he get the true dragon origin power? Yang Ocean searched every corner of the hall unwillingly. However, apart from these elixirs, there was the Jade Dragon Heavenly Cauldron and 4 Dragon Balls. There was nothing else. Yang Ocean could only put away all the elixirs, 4 Dragon Balls and the Jade Dragon Heavenly Cauldron, and left the palace. When Yang Ocean came out of the 4th palace, he was thinking about whether to use the last mouthful of the 6th Heavenly Tribulation Thunder Water, but Yaoding said, "Open the Dragon Cauldron first." Open the Dragon Cauldron? Yang Ocean was puzzled. Could there be some mystery in the Jade Dragon Heavenly Cauldron? Otherwise, Ding Yi would not have reminded him. So he took out the Jade Dragon Heavenly Cauldron, cut his finger, and dripped blood into the Jade Dragon Heavenly Cauldron to refine the Jade Dragon Heavenly Cauldron initially. When he opened the Jade Dragon Heavenly Cauldron and saw what was inside, he was stunned, seeing 2 golden dragons in the cauldron. However, unlike the blue dragon transformed by the Azure Dragon Holy Pill, these 2 golden dragons were transformed by the original power of the real dragon. The original power contained in the 2 dragons was surging like the ocean. After Yang Ocean was stunned, he was surprised. Unexpectedly, there were 2 golden dragons in the Azure Dragon Heavenly Cauldron. Originally, he had given up hope. Now looking at the 2 golden dragons in front of him, he suddenly felt a sense of joy from heaven. It seems that Master Ding had already seen that there was something in the Dragon Cauldron, so he reminded him to check. Good luck. Yaoding smiled and said, "Do you want to continue to enter the 5th palace?" Yang Ocean looked at the 5th palace of the Dragon Palace and finally shook his head. Each of these 2 golden dragons' original power is stronger than the ice dragon that Liao Bing gave him. With these 2 golden dragons' original power, it is enough for him to condense the strongest and best golden pill. There is no need to enter the 5th palace. After all, the 6th Heaven Tribulation Thunder Water is very important. If you keep a mouthful, it may be useful in the future. So, Yang Ocean came to Bingayan Killin and Giant King Thunder Python with great joy and gave 4 Dragon Balls to Giant King Thunder Python. 4 Dragon Balls. Giant King Thunder Python was stunned when he saw the 4 Dragon Balls in front of him. Young Master. He trembled with excitement. Yang Ocean smiled at him and said, "With these 4 Dragon Balls, can your bloodline evolve?" Giant King Thunder Python took a deep breath and said excitedly, "Yes." Then he said, "If it still can't, punish me to crash into the sea." These 4 Dragon Balls are all Dragon Balls in the realm of gods. His bloodline is infinitely close to the Super Beast. With these 4 Dragon Balls, he is absolutely sure to evolve. Just when Bingayan Killin was envious, Yang Ocean took out the Azure Dragon Holy Pill. Bingayan Killin was stunned when he saw the Azure Dragon Holy Pill. Azure Dragon Holy Pill. Yang Ocean gave the Azure Dragon Holy Pill to Bingayan Killin. Bingayan Killin's mouth was dry, and he shook his head and said, "Sir, this Azure Dragon Holy Pill is too expensive." However, when he was about to refuse, Yang Ocean said, "Although the Azure Dragon Holy Pill is expensive, it is of no use to me now. In my hands, it is just a waste pill. Only strong people above the Saint Realm can swallow a holy pill like the Azure Dragon Holy Pill. If Yang Ocean swallowed it, he would be burst instantly. Rather than leaving the Azure Dragon Holy Pill in his hands, it would be useless, so he might as well use it to help Liao Bing break through the realm of the gods. Besides, didn't you give me the original power of an ice dragon before?" Yang Ocean said with a smile. Bingayan Killin hesitated for a moment, took the Azure Dragon Holy Pill, and bowed deeply. "Thank you, sir." Next, Yang Ocean, Bingayan Killin, and Giant King Thunder Python did not leave the Dragon Palace immediately, but chose a corner in the Dragon Palace to practice separately. Yang Ocean took out the original power of a golden dragon in a corner of the Dragon Palace, and began to refine it. Outside, Liu Yang and Ziwei Qiang of the Bahai Divine Sect came to the Dragon Palace, after trying their best. However, not long after they entered the Dragon Palace, they were blown away by the Dragon Palace's restrictions. Finally, the two decided to return to the sea to wait for Yangtze Ocean and the Azure Thunder Python. More than a month passed in the blink of an eye. In this month, Yangtze Ocean finally completely refined the power of the two golden dragons. The power of the two golden dragons was so effective that he actually cultivated the 12 supreme magical powers of the dragon clan to the pinnacle. Adding the previous 20, it is 32. I should be able to condense the strongest and best golden elixir. Yangtze Ocean thought to himself. Vice President Fan Rukwan said that, if 30 supreme magical powers reach the pinnacle, the first best golden elixir could be condensed, and now he has 32. He took out all the top grade 9 Yang longevity pills he had refined before. Everything is ready, only a breakthrough is missing. After calming down, he used all his strength to operate the dragon art, urging the true essence in his Danshan to impact the realm of Wuzang. As Yangtze Ocean urged, his Danshan true essence began to spin wildly and finally formed a huge vortex. True essence, the power of supernatural power, began to gather in the center of the vortex. Not long after, Yangtze Ocean felt that his true essence was running out. The top grade 9 Yang Wanshao pills suspended around his body suddenly burst open, and one by one they turned into the purest medicinal power, pouring into his body. With the replenishment of the medicinal power of the 9 Yang Wanshao pills, Yangtze Ocean's true essence continued to gather in the center of the vortex. Whenever his true essence was consumed, the medicinal power of the 9 Yang Wanshao pills would replenish it. After a day and a night, a dazzling golden bead appeared in the center of Yangtze Ocean's Danshan vortex. At first, this golden bead was only the size of a grain of rice, but soon, it continued to grow at a speed visible to the naked eye. This is the golden elixir of martial arts master. Just when Yangtze Ocean's golden elixir was condensed successfully, suddenly, his Danshan was filled with violent golden light, and the heavy golden light blasted straight up, penetrating the Dragon Palace's restriction, and blasting onto the sea surface. When Liu Yang, Zihui Qiang and others were waiting impatiently on the sea surface, suddenly, they saw a terrifying golden light blasting up from the bottom of the sea like a tidal wave. Chapter 232 is a divine golden elixir. What is this? Seeing the golden light blasting up from the bottom of the sea, Liu Yang was in doubt. Could it be the treasure that will be born this time? Suddenly, Zihui Qiang's face changed. Quickly retreat. After saying that, he retreated madly. Just as Liu Yang and Zihui Qiang retreated. Boom. The sea surface within a radius of 100 miles was blown away by the blasting golden light. The waves were numerous. The blasted waves blocked the sky. The disciples of the Blue Sea Divine Sect who originally blocked the surrounding sea areas could not avoid it, and many of them were blown away. Liu Yang and Zihui Qiang were shocked when they saw the golden light column blasting into the sky. Because the golden light column actually had divine power, someone broke through the realm of gods. Zihui Qiang was greatly surprised. However, to break through the realm of gods, one must pass the divine tribulation. But in the sky, there were no clouds. Not to mention the thunder tribulation, there was not even a dark cloud. Even Liu Yang was in doubt. What's going on? Golden light pillars continuously bombarded the 9 heavens. The divine power was getting heavier and heavier. In fact, not only Zihui Qiang and Liu Yang were surprised, but even the Ice Flame Kirin and Sky Blue Thunder Python in the Dragon Palace were also startled. The two flew towards Yangtze Ocean. From a distance, they saw all kinds of strange phenomena around Yangtze Ocean. At this time, Yangtze Ocean was sitting cross-legged in a corner of the Dragon Palace, with golden light rising into the sky, and golden figures of gods appeared around him. As these figures of gods appeared, a golden elixir flew out of Yangtze Ocean's body. When the golden elixir was born, the earth shook. The entire Dragon Palace seemed to be in a great earthquake. The golden elixir, suspended above Yangtze Ocean's head, actually bloomed with layers of divine light. As the golden elixir divine light bloomed, the golden gods around Yangtze Ocean's body actually bowed to the golden elixir. The Ice Flame Kirin and Sky Blue Thunder Python were stunned. Some evil geniuses will appear strange phenomena when they break through the realm of martial arts and condense golden elixirs of the best quality or above. However, they have never seen such a strange phenomenon. The birth of the golden elixir actually caused the gods to bow down. Looking at Yang Ocean's golden elixir that was shining with divine light, Bingayan Kilin remembered a legend that was so old that it seemed unreal, and his voice trembled. Isn't this the strongest golden elixir? It's a divine elixir. It's a divine golden elixir. When Cheyenne King Li Mang heard it, his whole body shook violently. Divine golden elixir. He also thought of an extremely old legend. Legend has it that there is another divine golden elixir above the first class golden elixir. However, this legend is too old, so old that it has been forgotten by many powerful people. Even the existence of Bingayan Kilin and Cheyenne King Li Mang has almost forgotten it. Divine golden elixir. Young master has condensed a divine golden elixir. Bingayan Kilin was so excited that he was incoherent and even bowed down like those gods. This is a worship of the divine golden elixir. Since ancient times, there has been no divine golden elixir. It has been 1,000,000 years. After 1,000,000 years, the divine golden elixir has finally reappeared in the world. Cheyenne King Li Mang was also excited and bowed down. At this time, he remembered what Master Ding had said to him before, that the young master would become the supreme being in the future. The longer he followed Yang Ocean, the luckier he felt. Just when Bingayan Kilin and Cheyenne King Li Mang were very excited, suddenly, another golden elixir flew out of Yang Ocean's body. This golden elixir also glowed with divine light. The two golden elixirs were lined up above Yang Ocean's head and slowly rotated. The divine power was overwhelming. The entire dragon palace was shaking violently. Just now it was a magnitude 12 earthquake, and now it is magnitude 14, 15, and 16. The sea area around the dragon palace was also turbulent and violent. Liu Yang, Zihui Qiang and others saw that the sea surface, which had not yet calmed down, was blown away again. The people of the Blue Sea Divine Sect were even more stunned. In the dragon palace, Bingayan Kilin and Cheyenne King Li Mang looked at the second golden elixir, and they were no longer excited, but horrified. Two divine golden elixirs. It was fine that their young master condensed a divine golden elixir. He actually condensed two. Has this ever happened in ancient times? It seems that there was no such thing in ancient times. At least they have not heard of anyone condensing two divine golden pills in ancient times. Two divine golden pills, shining with divine light. The entire dragon palace was illuminated and shining. As if affected by the divine power of Yang Ocean's divine golden pill, all the dragon palaces in the dragon palace were shining with light, and the sound of dragon roars was heard. The dragon roar resounded through the world. Even the masters of the Blue Sea Divine Sect on the sea surface heard this deafening dragon roar. Moreover, the sound of the dragon roar became louder and louder, continuous, and lasted for a long time. Liu Yang and Zihui Qiang looked at the seabed in amazement. What happened on the seabed? Although they didn't know what happened on the seabed, the two of them intuitively felt that it should be related to the sky blue thunder python and the mysterious Lord Long. The dragon roar lasted for more than an hour. Finally it stopped. The golden light also began to shrink. The divine power dissipated. The sky above the blue sea was still clear. In the dragon palace, the golden light on Yang Ocean's body gradually weakened and finally disappeared. At this time, two divine golden pills were suspended in his danshan, slowly flowing. Yang Ocean opened his eyes, his face full of surprise. He did not expect that this time he would break through the martial arts sect and condense a divine golden pill and two divine golden pills. At this time, Bingayan Kilin and Cheyenne King Thunder Python flew to Yang Ocean excitedly. Congratulations, young master, for condensing a divine golden pill. Both of them bowed and were very excited. At this time, looking at Yang Ocean again, both of them were full of awe in their eyes. Yang Ocean stood up and nodded and smiled at the two of them. Finally breaking through the martial arts sect, the future cultivation will be a smooth road. At least before breaking through the martial arts emperor, it will be a smooth road. He guessed that his condensation of two golden pills should be related to his possession of two supreme martial arts spirits. How is your cultivation? Yang Ocean asked Bingayan Kilin and Cheyenne King Thunder Python. The Azure Thunder Python said excitedly, fortunately, I have fulfilled my mission and have successfully evolved. Yang Ocean's eyes lit up and he laughed. Success. Great. The Azure Thunder Python's bloodline successfully returned to its ancestral state and evolved into a super beast. This is a double blessing. Yang Xiaoshan knew the combat power of super beasts. Now the Azure Thunder Python's combat power is definitely more than twice as strong as before. Yang Xiaoshan couldn't help but look at the Ice Flame Kirin. The Ice Flame Kirin scratched his head embarrassedly. Sir, I'm still a little short, just a little short. Although he refined the Azure Dragon Holy Pill, the Ice Flame Kirin still didn't break through the realm of the gods. After all, it's still too difficult for a super beast like him to break through the realm of the gods. It's okay. Yang Xiaoshan smiled and said, next time, we'll find another holy pill. With another holy pill, the Ice Flame Kirin should be able to break through the realm of the gods. At this time, in the True Dragon sect, the mountain where Yai was located was also shining with golden light. Junior brother Yu Yi has broken through the realm of martial sect and condensed a top-grade golden elixir. A disciple shouted excitedly. The news that Yu Yi condensed a top-grade golden elixir spread quickly, and the millions of masters of the True Dragon Divine sect were in an uproar. When the leader of the True Dragon Divine sect, Hunan, heard the news, he was very excited and laughed heartily. Pass the order down, and our True Dragon Divine sect will celebrate. Awesome. Yang Xiaoshan can go back to pretending again. Chapter 233, The Power of the Azure Thunder Python. When the ancestor of the True Dragon Divine sect, Long Hao, learned that Yu Yi had condensed a top-grade golden elixir, he smiled from ear to ear. Li Fangyuan, Long Hao's eldest disciple, congratulated him. Congratulations, Master. Congratulations, Master. This time, junior brother Yu Yi will definitely win the first place in the True Dragon assessment. When the strong men from all sides gather, junior brother Yu Yi will definitely show the power of my sword peak. Long Hao laughed loudly. Li Fangyuan smiled and said, I heard that even the owner of the Kinglian Tower will come this time. The owner of the Kinglian Tower, Li Hang. When Long Hao heard that Li Hang was also coming, he was even more happy and laughed. I didn't expect that the owner of the building would come too. The owner of the Kinglian Tower, Li Hang, was as famous as the leader of the Tatian sect and the Dragon Emperor. Although Long Hao was also at the peak of the 10th level of the Holy Realm, in terms of status and position, Li Hang was a little higher than Long Hao. Therefore, when Long Hao learned that Li Hang was also coming, he felt even more proud. On that day, the True Dragon Divine sect celebrated. The mountain where Yu Yi was located even held a banquet and invited all the core disciples. Thank you all for coming today. At the banquet, Yu Yi looked at the hundreds of core disciples who had arrived, stood up and raised his glass, full of vigor and vitality. Hundreds of core disciples all stood up and raised their glasses to drink together. After sitting down, Yu Yi asked his servant Wei Yaoke, are Yang Linger and Yang Xiaoshan here? His servant Wei Yaoke hesitated and said, of the people invited by the young master, only Yang Linger and Yang Xiaoshan did not come. Yang Linger said that her brother is not here, and as for her, she is at a critical juncture in her cultivation today, so she did not come. When Yu Yi heard that only Yang Linger and Yang Xiaoshan did not come, his face darkened. It's a critical moment in cultivation? I think it's an excuse. Who was sitting in the first place at the lower left, sneered when he heard it. Yang Linger, that cheap girl, has a sour face all day long, pretending to be noble, thinking how great her 14th level martial spirit is. I think she didn't come on purpose. She deliberately embarrassed you, junior brother Yai. Zhu Maomio also laughed and said, I don't think Yang Xiaoshan is absent. He knows that you, junior brother Yai, have condensed a top-grade golden elixir, and he feels ashamed, so he dare not show up. Fang Xiaoqiang said, Yang Xiaoshan has an 11th level martial spirit. How can he possess the divine fire? He should hand over the divine fire and let you, junior brother Yai, control the divine fire. You, junior brother Yai, can condense the top-grade golden elixir, control the divine fire, and better exert the power of the divine fire. Huangzhen also said disdainfully, it's ridiculous that Yang Xiaoshan, an 11th level martial spirit, actually wants to ask my master to accept him as a disciple. My master is of such status, how could he accept such a thing as a disciple? Wang Yao of Yao Feng also said angrily, Yang Xiaoshan relied on an emperor beast to trespass into my Yao Feng and hurt hundreds of my Yao Feng disciples. This lunatic who disregards the rules of the True Dragon Divine Sect should have been kicked out of the True Dragon Divine Sect long ago. Yu Yi looked at the angry Wang Yao and said, "Don't worry, senior sister Wang, I will teach him a lesson on behalf of the disciples of Yao Feng during the True Dragon assessment, and make him apologize to the disciples of Yao Feng." At this time, in the Blue Sea Dragon Palace, Yang Zai Ocean and the Sky Blue Thunder Python walked out of the Dragon Palace. Looking at the Dragon Palace behind him, Yang Zai Ocean felt as if he was in another world. Before entering the Dragon Palace, he was only a martial king. Who would have thought that more than a month later, he could condense 2 divine golden pills? Let's go back to the True Dragon Divine Sect. Yang Zai Ocean stood on the head of the Sky Blue Thunder Python. The Sky Blue Thunder Python took him up from the sea. Suddenly, the seabed shook. Yang Zai Ocean was wrapped in divine fire. After breaking through the realm of Wuzang, his strength is simply incomparable to before. The power of the Thunder Tribulation Divine Fire has greatly increased. Wherever the divine fire passes, the extremely cold air dissipates. The two flew out to the sea at a very fast speed. Liu Yang and Ziwei Qiang were guarding the sea surface. When they saw an extremely huge shadow flying out from the bottom of the sea, they immediately attacked at the same time without hesitation. Both of them were in the realm of gods. The two gods attacked, and the power of destroying the world passed through the heavy sea water and bombarded the Azure Thunder Python. The Azure Thunder Python snorted coldly, and the whole body of lightning surged, and its claws slapped upwards. Suddenly, 2 huge pillars of lightning rushed towards the power of Liu Yang and Ziwei Qiang. Boom. A loud sound shook the sky. I don't know how many layers of sea water were blown away. Huge waves rushed to the sky. Liu Yang and Ziwei Qiang only felt an extremely powerful force coming. The two were shocked and retreated again and again. In the huge waves, the figure of the Sky Blue Thunder Python broke out of the sea, and at the same time, its 1,000-foot-long tail swept across, and the sea surface was flattened by hundreds of meters. Seeing this, Liu Yang and Ziwei Qiang were shocked. They each had a big sword in their hands. They swung the big swords, and the sword energy was 10,000 feet high, and slashed on the giant tail of the Thunder Python. The big swords in the hands of the two were naturally not ordinary items, but top-level holy weapons. Even so, not only could the two not cut the giant tail of the Thunder Python, but they were also shocked and rolled back in midair. The two were shocked. The Sky Blue Thunder Python had just broken through the realm of the gods. How could its strength and defense be so strong? They looked over and saw that the Sky Blue Thunder Python standing in the air had 2 big dragon horns on its head, and its body was covered with dragon scales. On the dragon scales were huge lightning. The power of the dragon was overwhelming. Seeing this, the two were shocked. This was not a Thunder Python, but a Thunder Dragon. Bloodline returns to the ancestors. Super Divine Beast. Liu Yang and Ziwei Qiang were both shocked, unable to hide their surprise. The Azure Thunder Python had actually evolved. They were both in the realm of gods, so how could they not understand that once a divine beast evolved into a super divine beast, its combat power would change dramatically. No wonder even the two great gods could not stop the attack of the Thunder Python just now. Under the divine power of the Azure Thunder Python, Zhao Crossing, Li Wanshao and others in the distance retreated in fear. Yang Zai Ocean was still shrouded in darkness, and he looked coldly at Liu Yang, Ziwei Qiang and others. Seeing that Liu Yang and others led tens of thousands of Baha'i Divine Sect Masters to wait here in a strict battle array, how could he not understand what was going on? Kill. Yang Zai Ocean said coldly. Immediately, the Azure Thunder Python roared to the sky, and countless divine thunders rolled down from the sky. Before, the divine thunder covered 100 miles in radius, but now, it was more than 100 miles. At a glance, the divine thunder was vast, covering the sky and the sun, and even the sky was dark. Seeing the millions of thunderbolts rolling down, Zhao Crossing, Li Wanshao and others turned pale and shouted, "Everyone retreat." Even though the two great gods and more than 40 saints from the Blue Sea sect came this time, they were all frightened and retreated madly when they saw such a boundless thunderbolt. Liu Yang and Ziwei Qiang roared, supported themselves with all their strength, and swung the swords in their hands with all their strength, interweaving millions of sword ki. However, no matter how amazing the millions of sword ki of the two were, they could not stop the millions of thunderbolts. Boom. As the millions of thunderbolts fell, the disciples of the Blue Sea sect were blown to pieces, and their bodies were splattered. The sea surface turned red like a sea of blood. The surrounding islands, that had been floating for who knows how many tens of thousands of years, were also blown apart. Before Liu Yang and Zihui Qiang could get angry, the sky in front of them darkened, and they saw that the Azure Thunder Python had come in front of them. The Azure Thunder Python's giant claws slapped them down as they were shocked. Chapter 234. Let Yang Xiaoshan apologize to the disciples of Yao Feng. The two looked at the dragon claws that were falling with thunder and lightning, and they didn't dare to take it head on. They retreated in panic and shouted angrily, "Retreat! Retreat!" The disciples of the Blue Sea Divine sect, who were still in shock, fled back to the Blue Sea Divine Island, like they were pardoned. Liu Yang and Zihui Qiang had just dodged when the Azure Thunder Python's dragon claws hit the sea surface with force, and the surrounding sea water was emptied. The sea surface seemed to have a huge hole. Millions of thunders continued to hit the seabed. The sand waves on the seabed rolled. "Let's go." After Liu Yang and Zihui Qiang retreated, they also fled to the Blue Sea Divine Island. Seeing this, the Azure Thunder Python was about to chase after him, but Yang Xiaoshan said, "Forget it. Don't chase a desperate enemy. A super sect like the Blue Sea Divine sect must have a mountain guarding formation." So Yang Xiaoshan and the Azure Thunder Python flew back to the Dragon Empire. After evolving into a super beast, the Azure Thunder Python's body shape changed a lot. Its body, which was originally as big as a giant mountain, grew bigger again. Although the main body is bigger, it is faster. Flying over the blue sea, it is like a huge flash of lightning. Even in the Saint Realm, only a trace of afterimage can be seen. Liu Yang and Zihui Qiang fled back to the Blue Sea Divine Island. Seeing that the Sky Blue Thunder Python did not chase them, they both breathed a sigh of relief. "What should we do now?" Liu Yang smiled bitterly. Originally, they wanted to join forces to kill the python and divide the python meat, python blood, and inner elixir, but they didn't expect to be killed by it. Since breaking through the divine realm, he has never been so embarrassed. "I'll go to the Tatian sect," Zihui Qiang pondered. The blood of the Sky Blue Thunder Python, the king of the Red Moon Forest divine beast, has returned to its ancestral lineage and evolved into a super divine beast. This is a shocking event, and he has to go to the Tatian sect in person. "Okay." Liu Yang nodded. "I'll be in charge of the mountain gate." After a moment, Zihui Qiang broke through the air and went to the Tatian sect. A few days later, Yang Xiaoshan and the Sky Blue Thunder Python have returned to the territory of the Dragon Empire. Although he had broken through the Wuzang, Yang Xiaoshan did not relax. He continued to practice. While on the road, he practiced Thundering Nine Heavens, Shadow Night Walk, and many supreme magical powers. With the rapid pursuit of the Sky Blue Thunder Python, Yang Xiaoshan finally saw the gate of the True Dragon sect from afar. At this time, there were only 2 days left before the True Dragon assessment. Masters from various superpowers came to the True Dragon sect one after another. The True Dragon sect was bustling with excitement. When Yang Xiaoshan returned to the True Dragon sect, the disciples of the True Dragon sect saw Yang Xiaoshan and whispered to each other with strange eyes. "Junior brother Yai has condensed the best golden elixir. What do you think Yang Xiaoshan will condense in the future? Who knows? I heard that Yang Xiaoshan has 5 supreme magical powers that have reached the pinnacle. Even if he can't condense the best golden elixir, he should have no problem condensing the top grade golden elixir." These disciples discussed. Generally speaking, if 5 supreme magical powers have reached the pinnacle, there is a 90% chance of condensing the top grade golden elixir. Before, Yang Xiaoshan trespassed into Yao Feng and injured hundreds of Yao Feng disciples. This time, in the True Dragon assessment, junior brother Yai said that he must teach Yang Xiaoshan a lesson and let Yang Xiaoshan apologize to the disciples of Yao Feng. From time to time, there were discussions from the True Dragon Divine Sect disciples. Yang Xiaoshan listened to the discussions of these True Dragon Divine Sect disciples with a calm face. When Yang Xiaoshan returned to Tangshan Peak, he looked at everything familiar in Tangshan Peak, and his stern face finally showed a warm smile. He had been in the Bahai Dragon Palace for several months this time. The girl must have come out of the True Dragon Secret Realm. I haven't seen the girl for a long time. I wonder if she has gained weight now. Young master. Luo King saw Yang Xiaoshan first. The moment he saw the young master, Luo King shouted in surprise, "Young master is back." Luo King's voice startled everyone in Tangshan Peak. Everyone rushed out. Young master is back. Everyone's face was full of surprise. Yang Xiaoshan saw his parents and a little girl beside his parents. The moment he saw the little girl, Yang Xiaoshan smiled. Although he hadn't seen her for a long time and the girl had grown a lot taller, he still recognized her at a glance. Brother. Yang Linga was also surprised to see Yang Xiaoshan, and waved and shouted, and then rushed towards Yang Xiaoshan. Yang Xiaoshan couldn't help but think of the little girl who ran to find him like this when he was practicing Teikai Sutra on the top of the mountain behind Yang Jiazhuang. When she ran, her long braids swung. Brother. Yang Linga threw herself into Yang Xiaoshan's arms and hugged Yang Xiaoshan. Yang Xiaoshan touched the girl's hair and smiled. "Girl, you have grown so big." Yang Linga also smiled and said, "Brother, you have grown a lot. If it's a few years later, I won't recognize you." Huang Ying came over at this time and smiled. "You are so old, but you are still shameless." Yang Linga stuck out her tongue and smiled. "He is my brother. I'm not ashamed." Everyone laughed. Amidst the laughter, everyone and Yang Xiaoshan walked back to the palace. "Brother, you don't know how arrogant those people in the 5-element peak have been during your absence. Especially after Yu Yi condensed the best golden elixir, he has become even more arrogant." After entering the palace, Yang Linga said with a wrinkled nose, "Yu Yi was born with the 5-element sword body, so he named the mountain where he lived, 5-element peak. How arrogant." Yang Xiaoshan asked with a smile. "Those people from the 5-element peak always speak rudely to us every time they see us." Luo King said, also, that Yu Yi is getting along really well with the people from Medicine Peak now. He said that, when the True Dragon assessment comes, he will teach you a lesson on behalf of the disciples from Medicine Peak. Let you apologize to the disciples from Medicine Peak. Yang Xiaoshan smiled when he heard that. Really? Seeing that Yang Xiaoshan didn't care, Yang Linga asked, "Brother, that Yu Yi has condensed a top-grade golden elixir and has extraordinary combat power. You must be careful when the True Dragon assessment comes." Yang Xiaoshan smiled. "Don't worry, even if your brother hasn't broken through to the martial sect, he is confident that he can defeat him." Yang Linga smiled so hard that her eyes curved. "Just brag." Then she remembered something and said, "Brother, when you were away, Princess Kingxuan came to see you." Then she asked slyly, "Brother, tell me the truth. What is your relationship with Princess Kingxuan?" "What relationship can I have with Princess Kingxuan?" Yang Xiaoshan smiled bitterly. "I just treated him to barbecue a few times." "Barbecue? I want to eat barbecue too." Yang Chao and Huang Ying smiled when they saw Yang Xiaoshan and Yang Linga, the two siblings, being so close to each other. Knowing that Kingxuan had come to the True Dragon sect, Yang Xiaoshan took his sister to find Kingxuan in the afternoon. Kingxuan was the princess of the Dragon Empire and was arranged by the True Dragon sect to live in the best palace. However, when they arrived at the palace where Kingxuan lived, they saw a group of people standing outside the palace. Obviously, they were also here to see Kingxuan. When Yang Linga saw the other party, she wrinkled her nose and said, "Brother, it's Yu Yi." Yang Xiaoshan followed his sister's gaze and looked over. He had heard of Yu Yi for a long time. When he was in Xiandao Academy, Vice President Fan Rukun had solemnly introduced him to him. But the two had never met. At this time, Yu Yi's men also saw Yang Xiaoshan and Yang Linga, and said to Yu Yi, "Sir, it's Yang Linga and Yang Xiaoshan." When Yu Yi heard this, he immediately turned around and looked at Yang Xiaoshan with a sharp gaze. Chapter 235. The Blue Sea Cult is defeated. Yang Xiaoshan and his eyes met. Yang Xiaoshan, right? Yao Yi raised his chin and looked at Yang Xiaoshan with scrutiny. Yang Xiaoshan ignored him and clasped his fists to the guards of Kingxuan Palace and said, "I'm Yang Xiaoshan, and I want to see Her Royal Highness Princess Kingxuan. Please pass her on. It's young Master Yang." When the guard heard it was Yang Xiaoshan, he hurriedly said, "Please wait a moment, I will pass her on to Her Royal Highness." Then he turned and entered the palace. Yao Yi saw that Yang Xiaoshan ignored him, and his face darkened. "Yang Xiaoshan, our young master is asking you a question. Did you hear me? Wei Yaokei, Yu Yi's subordinate, was angry when he saw Yang Xiaoshan ignored his master. Don't think you are so great, just because you have the divine fire. Our young master has condensed the best golden elixir, and is the only disciple of the true dragon divine sect who has condensed the best golden elixir in the past 100 years. Yang Xiaoshan glanced. Really? Yu Yi saw that Yang Xiaoshan was indifferent, and said in a deep voice, Yang Xiaoshan, the divine fire is in your hands, which is an insult to the divine fire. The disciples of the true dragon divine sect compare you and me. Do you think you are qualified to be compared with me? Since Yang Xiaoshan and Yu Yi were both specially recruited by the true dragon divine sect this time, many disciples of the true dragon divine sect often compare the two. At first, Yu Yi didn't think it was a big deal. But since he condensed the best golden elixir, he felt that comparing Yang Xiaoshan with him was an insult to his identity. Yang Xiaoshan found it funny when he heard this. So, if the divine fire is in your hands, it is not an insult to the divine fire? Do you think I'm not qualified to be compared with you? Yu Yi was about to speak, but heard a surprised voice, Brother Xiaoshan. Then he saw Princess Kingxuan running out of the palace with a look of surprise. Behind Kingxuan, Longlan followed. After Kingxuan ran out of the palace, she was very excited and came to Yang Xiaoshan and immediately took Yang Xiaoshan's hand. You are finally back. Yang Linga saw Kingxuan coming out and happily took her brother's hand. She couldn't help but look at her brother. Didn't you say that you have nothing to do with the princess? How can you hold hands? Yang Xiaoshan felt his sister's teasing eyes, and it was hard to defend himself. Uncle Lan. He greeted Long Lan. Long Lan smiled at Yang Xiaoshan and said, this girl came to the True Dragon sect a long time ago. These days, she runs to your mountain almost every day. King Xuan smiled and denied it. I didn't. Then he pulled Yang Xiaoshan into the palace and said, Brother Xiaoshan, I recently received a beast. Come on, I'll take you in to have a look. After that, he and Long Lan invited Yang Xiaoshan and Yang Linga into the palace. Yu Yi looked at Yang Xiaoshan's figure, and his face was as ugly as it could be. Since he knew that Princess Kingxuan of their Shenlong Empire had come to the True Dragon sect, he came to ask for an audience 3 times. However, he was stopped outside the palace by the guards. He didn't even see Kingxuan. Not to mention, being so enthusiastic and pleasantly invited into the palace by Kingxuan. He stared at Kingxuan holding Yang Xiaoshan's hand. Young master. Wei Yaokei stepped forward carefully. Let's go back. Yu Yi snorted and left in the air. Wei Yaokei and others hurried to catch up. Yu Yi clenched his fists, his eyes full of murderous intent. In the True Dragon assessment the day after tomorrow, I will let Yang Xiaoshan know that he is nothing in my eyes. I will let everyone know that Yang Xiaoshan is not worthy of being compared with me. His voice echoed for a long time between the peaks. At this time, after Yang Xiaoshan was pulled into the palace by Kingxuan, he saw the newly subdued mount mentioned by Kingxuan. Kingxuan's mount was a small blue dragon. However, it was a young dragon, not big in size, and compared with the sky blue thunder python, it was simply a tiny thing. When the little blue dragon saw Yang Xiaoshan, it automatically came to Yang Xiaoshan and rubbed against Yang Xiaoshan very affectionately. Seeing this, Long Lan laughed in surprise. This little blue dragon was subdued by Kingxuan with great effort. Others were attacked by it when they approached. I didn't expect it to be so close to you. Yang Xiaoshan smiled. The little blue dragon was so close to him, which should be related to his practice of the dragon art. Brother Xiaoshan, I heard from Linga that you went to the 4 Continents Empire. Kingxuan asked Yang Xiaoshan with curiosity. What did you do in the 4 Continents Empire? I heard that the 4 Continents Empire has the power of the True Dragon origin, so I went there. Yang Xiaoshan laughed. Then I had a fight with 2 powerful gods. Kingxuan laughed. Brother Xiaoshan knows how to make people laugh. Long Lan also shook his head and smiled. In the evening, Yang Xiaoshan and his sister left Kingxuan Palace and returned to Tangshan Peak. After returning to Tangshan Peak, Yang Xiaoshan concentrated on practicing Thundering 9 Heavens, Shadow Night Walk, and Supreme Sword skills. Now, although he has practiced many Supreme Sword skills to the pinnacle, there is still a realm above the pinnacle. Only by crossing the pinnacle can he condense the sword intent. The more supreme sword skills he practices, the stronger the power, and the stronger the sword intent he will condense in the future. As for Yanglinga, after practicing every day, she would go to the orchard to pick a lot of spiritual fruits, and then eat them together with Yang Xiaoshan, Yang Chao, and Huang Ying. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. The True Dragon assessment is coming. The masters of the major sects rushed to the square of the True Dragon Hall. For this True Dragon assessment, Long Xingshan, Zhu Zuan, Gu Xiaozhang, Li Qianqian, and Lan Yi all followed their elders. Even the great elder Wang Zhao of the Imperial Pharmacist Hall and his disciple Wu Yu came. Li Hong, Zhao Jinzhao, Jiu Wu, Wang Zhao and other Saint Realm masters were in front, and Long Xingshan, Zhu Zuan and other juniors were behind. The bloodline of the King of Divine Beasts, the Azure Thunder Python, has returned to its ancestors. I wonder if you have heard about it? Zhao Jinzhao of the Tatian sect suddenly said as they rushed to the True Dragon Square. What? The Azure Thunder Python's bloodline has returned to its ancestors. Li Hong, Jiu Wu, Wang Zhao and others were all shocked when they heard it. Zhao Jinzhao's face was solemn, and he nodded and said, and the Azure Thunder Python has already achieved the status of a god, and was subdued by someone. Achieved the status of a god, and was subdued by someone. Li Hong, Jiu Wu and others were shocked and unbelievable. As for Long Xingshan, Zhu Zuan, Gu Xiaozhang, Li Qianqian and others, it was like listening to a book from heaven. Who can subdue a Azure Thunder Python, a super beast of the god realm? Even the #1 person in their dragon empire can't do it. This is absolutely true. Zhao Jinzhao's voice was heavy. This person, who calls himself Lord Long, appeared in the Blue Sea of the Four Continents Empire a few days ago, driving the Azure Thunder Python, and fought with the 2 ancestors of the god realm of the Blue Sea divine religion. When everyone heard that it was a fight between the god realm, they were all shocked. Even Li Han couldn't suppress his inner shock. Although he was at the peak of the 10th level of the Holy Realm, he was still not good enough in front of such an existence in the god realm. What was the result? Li Han asked with a dry mouth. Zhao Jinzhao took a deep breath, tried to calm down, and said, the Jade Sea sect is no match for them. Everyone gasped. In other words, the 2 gods of the Jade Sea sect were no match for the super beast, the Azure Thunder Python. Chapter 236, Come out and fight. Is the super beast Azure Thunder Python really that strong? An elder of the Tatian sect said with a chuckle. Very strong. Zhao Jinzhao's face was extremely solemn, beyond imagination. Then he added, with one move of the Azure Thunder Python, the islands that have existed for countless years within 100 miles around were all torn apart. Everyone's heart was in turmoil. Although they did not see the scene of the fight with their own eyes, they could still imagine how shocking that scene was. The Blue Sea Divine Sect has existed on countless islands for hundreds of years, and has withstood the power of time, but it cannot withstand the attack of the Azure Thunder Python. Long Xingshan, Zhu Zuan, Li Qianqian, Gu Xiaozhang and others were so scared that they dared not speak, and everyone was silent. When you enter the Red Moon Forest in the future, you must stay away from the Thunder Lake, understand? After a long time, Li Han carefully warned his granddaughter Li Qianqian. He knew that his precious granddaughter was fearless, and had sneaked near the Thunder Lake when she entered the Red Moon Forest before. If she really angered the Azure Thunder Python, then, not to mention him, even his father Li Dan would not be able to save her. Li Qianqian, who was always fearless, nodded solemnly. I understand, Grandpa. Zhao Jinzhao of the Tatian sect also warned Long Xingshan, Zhu Zuan and others in an unprecedented serious tone. When you enter the Red Moon Forest in the future, you must also stay away from the Thunder Lake, understand? Follow the order of the ancestor. Long Xingshan, Zhu Zuan and others were shocked and responded respectfully. Jiu Wu also sternly warned the disciples of the Fulong Sword sect not to approach the Red Moon Forest Thunder Lake. The same was true for Feng Lei, the ancestor of the Maha Divine sect and others. Some time ago, the Azure Thunder Python and the volcano fought. Did the volcano lose? Wang Zhao suddenly said. Everyone looked at each other. Zhao Jinzhao shook his head. That kind of existence is not something we can speculate. Unknowingly, Zhao Jinzhao, Li Hong, Wang Zhao and others came to the True Dragon Square. The main hall of the True Dragon sect is located at the True Dragon Peak. The True Dragon Square is located halfway up the mountain. It is larger than the Shenlong Square in the imperial capital. Hunan had arrived long ago. When he saw Li Hong, Zhao Jinzhao and others coming, he went to greet them from afar, clasped his fists, and said with a smile, "You all came from afar. I apologize for the poor hospitality these days." Li Hong smiled and said, "Master Hu, you are too polite." After Hunan exchanged pleasantries with everyone, he invited everyone to take a seat. After taking a seat, Li Hong smiled to Hunan and Long Hao. "The True Dragon sect has produced an unparalleled genius like Yu Yi. I really envy them." Long Hao laughed. "Master King Lian, you are too kind." Then he said to Yu Yi behind him, "Yu Yi, why don't you come and meet Master King Lian?" Yu Yi hurried forward and bowed. "Meet Master King Lian. Good." Li Hong smiled and said, "You are extraordinary, a dragon among men." At this moment, suddenly, the crowd was in turmoil. Li Hong looked and saw Long Lan, King Zuan and a large number of masters of the Shenlong imperial household flying in from a distance. Beside King Zuan were Yang Xiaoshan, Yang Linga and others. Li Hong's eyes fell on Yang Xiaoshan. Originally, he did not plan to come to the True Dragon sect for this True Dragon assessment. But when he learned that Yang Xiaoshan was now a disciple of the True Dragon sect and was going to participate in this True Dragon assessment, he somehow changed his mind and came with his granddaughter. At the auction, Yang Xiaoshan had lost his face, and he wanted to see with his own eyes how Yang Xiaoshan was defeated by Yu Yi, Li Qianqian, Gu Shaozhang, Long Xingshan, Zhu Zuan, Lang Yi and a large number of people all looked unfriendly when they saw Yang Xiaoshan, especially Gu Shaozhang and Zhu Zuan, whose eyes made them want to cut Yang Xiaoshan into 8 pieces. Yu Yi, Hu Yu, Wang Yao and others were also like this. Yang Xiaoshan felt the knife-like eyes of Li Qianqian, Gu Shaozhang, Yu Yi and others, but he didn't care. He chatted and laughed with King Sun, and entered the True Dragon Square. As the strong men from all sides arrived one after another, Hunan saw that the time was almost up, so he announced the start of the True Dragon assessment. Originally, the opponents of the True Dragon assessment were decided by drawing lots, but Yu Yi suddenly stepped forward and said to Hunan, "Sect Master, Yu Yi has a request. I hope you agree." Hunan and Long Hao looked at each other and smiled. "I wonder what it is." Yu Yi bowed and said, "Yu Yi and Yang Xiaoshan were specially recruited into the True Dragon sect together. Yang Xiaoshan has condensed 5 of the strongest sword hearts, and is known as an unparalleled genius in swordsmanship. He also controls the divine fire, and is the rare genius of alchemy in our empire. Yu Yi has always wanted to learn from him. Please grant me your wish." Hunan was surprised. He couldn't help but look at Yang Xiaoshan. Everyone looked at Yang Xiaoshan. Zhu Zuan smiled and said, "It's going to be a good show." Long Xingkang smiled and said, "Guess, does Yang Xiaoshan dare to accept this fight?" Gu Shaozhang smiled and said, "If he accepts, he will lose. If he doesn't accept, he will be ridiculed by the disciples of the True Dragon sect." Li Qianqian gloated and said, "If it were me, I wouldn't know how to choose." Hunan pondered for a moment and asked Yang Xiaoshan with a smile, "Xiaoshan, what do you think?" Yang Linga pouted and said, "Master, you are biased." Hunan was stunned and smiled lovingly. "Why is Master biased?" Yang Linga said, "Everyone knows that Yu Yi has condensed 6 of the strongest sword hearts, and my brother has only 5 of the strongest sword hearts." Hunan laughed and said, "Okay, then let's decide by drawing lots." Yang Xiaoshan stepped forward, clasped his fists to Hunan and said, "Sect Master, I'm willing to fight. Willing to fight." As soon as the words came out, everyone was surprised. "Brother." Yang Linga was about to speak, but Yang Xiaoshan waved his hand, then walked out, came to the center of the Zenlong Square, and looked at Yai calmly. "Don't you want to fight? Come out and fight." When Yai heard this, he stood up and landed in the center of the Zenlong Square. He stood in front of Yang Xiaoshan and said calmly, "Yang Xiaoshan, if you don't want to, you don't have to accept this fight. I don't like to force others. Go ahead." Yang Xiaoshan was too lazy to pretend with the other party. How could he not know what the other party was thinking? Yao Yi walked towards Yang Xiaoshan. "Yang Xiaoshan, I can let you make the first move." As he finished speaking, suddenly, a figure flashed, and Yang Xiaoshan had already come in front of him, and suddenly punched him, and instantly blasted out. Yao Yi was startled and raised his hand to meet him with a punch. The two punched each other. The airwave swept. Yao Yi only felt a pain in his fist, and was shocked to retreat repeatedly, and retreated dozens of meters away. Everyone was stunned. Even Hunan, Long Hao, Li Hang and others were surprised. Martial sect. Everyone looked at Yang Xiaoshan in surprise. Yu Yi clenched his fist, stared at Yang Xiaoshan, and said contemptuously, "So you have already broken through the realm of martial sect. No wonder you dare to fight me. But, Yang Xiaoshan, do you think that you have the strength to fight me just because you have broken through the realm of martial sect?" Hunan looked at Yang Xiaoshan and was very disappointed. In his opinion, Yang Xiaoshan had only reached the pinnacle of the 5 supreme magical powers and broke through the realm of martial sect, so the condensed must be a top-grade golden elixir. What a pity. He sighed secretly. Yang Xiaoshan possessed the divine fire and had infinite possibilities. He had originally placed great hopes on Yang Xiaoshan, hoping that Yang Xiaoshan would break through the realm of martial sect after practicing the 10 supreme magical powers to the pinnacle and then condense the top-grade golden elixir. What a pity. What a pity. Yang Xiaoshan broke through the realm of martial sect so quickly. Li Hang also shook his head. Even Liang Yafi, who summoned Yang Xiaoshan to the True Dragon Divine Sect, was disappointed. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 237. What are the 10 ultimate golden pills? Seeing that Yang Xiaoshan chose to break through the realm of Wuzang so quickly, Long Lan also shook his head and said, "Young friend Yang is too impatient." He felt that with Yang Xiaoshan's martial arts talent, he had every hope of breaking through the realm of the best golden elixir. Now that Yang Xiaoshan has broken through the realm of Wuzang, it is too late to say anything. Only when the golden elixir is stronger, the foundation will be more solid. In the future, cultivation will be smoother. Yang Xiaoshan, since you have condensed a top-grade golden elixir, I will not use the power of the best golden elixir, lest you lose and feel dissatisfied. Yu Yi said calmly. His whole body was surging with sword energy. Flames and swords shone through the world, almost illuminating the entire Zhenlang Peak. 6 strongest sword hearts. Bright flame sword heart. The strong men from the major super sects at the scene were shocked. Li Han felt the power of Yu Yi's 6 strongest sword hearts and exclaimed, "You are worthy of being a peerless sword genius with a natural sword heart. You have condensed 6 strongest sword hearts at such a young age. The young sword god is just like this." Young sword god. Hearing Li Han's praise for Yu Yi, everyone was shocked. Who is Li Han? Li Han is the disciple of the Green Lotus Sword God. He has received the true teachings of the Green Lotus Sword God. His swordsmanship is amazing. Since he said that Yao Yi has the potential to be a young sword god, then Yao Yi will have the hope of becoming a sword god in the future. Long Hao smiled modestly and said, "Master King Lian, you are too kind. Yao Yi is not worthy of the title of young sword god." However, everyone can see that, although Long Hao is modest on his face, he is very happy in his heart. At this time, Yao Yi jumped into the air and slashed down at Yang Xiaoshan's head with both hands. Suddenly, the power of the 6 strongest sword hearts turned into millions of sword ki, roaring and bombarding Yang Xiaoshan. Seeing Yao Yi urging the power of the 6 strongest sword hearts to turn into millions of sword ki and bombard Yang Xiaoshan, Yang Linger, King Xuan and others were so nervous that their hearts rose to their throats. Yang Xiaoshan is going to lose. Gu Shaozong shook his head. It's really boring to lose so quickly. Li Kai and Qian felt a little bored. Seeing that Yu Yi's sword energy was about to blow Yang Xiaoshan away, suddenly, Yang Xiaoshan's sword energy also surged all over his body, and the 9-color sword light shone through the 9 heavens. The 9-color sword light on his body completely overshadowed Yu Yi's flaming sword light. Yang Xiaoshan waved his hands. The 9-color sword energy also turned into a sea of swords, meeting the opponent's millions of sword energy. Accompanied by a loud bang, The sound of sword strikes came one after another. The sword light shot in all directions. The waves of sword energy swept to every corner of Zenlong Peak. Yu Yi, who was in the air, felt a strong force coming at him. This force was so strong that he was completely unable to resist. He was shocked and was about to retreat, but it was too late. The whole person was blown away. 6 9-color sword hearts. Hunan, Li Hong, Longlan and others all looked at Yang Xiaoshan in surprise. Yang Xiaoshan actually condensed 6 of the strongest sword hearts, and the power of Yang Xiaoshan's 6 9-color sword hearts was obviously stronger than Yu Yi. Even Gu Xiaozhang, Li Qianqian, Lang Yi, and other self-proclaimed geniuses in swordsmanship were shocked. They had practiced hard for many years, but they could not condense 9 sword hearts, let alone 6 of the strongest sword hearts. Even if it is 6 sword hearts, so what? After being surprised, Gu Xiaozhang sneered. He condensed a high-grade golden elixir. No matter how strong his swordsmanship talent is, it is useless. Hunan and Longlan also thought of Yang Xiaoshan's high-grade golden elixir at this time, and felt sorry for Yang Xiaoshan. At this time, Yu Yi climbed up from the ground in the distance. He looked at the broken battle robe, and was shocked and angry. He didn't expect that Yang Xiaoshan also condensed 6 of the strongest sword hearts, and his power was stronger than his own. He glared at Yang Xiaoshan, and a long sword appeared in his hand. He flashed and came in front of Yang Xiaoshan. He swung the sword and said sternly, "Yang Xiaoshan, take my sword, Invincible sword." The long sword in his hand burst out with a dazzling sword energy. Behind Yu Yi, 5 sword monuments appeared faintly. The power of the 5 sword tablets seemed endless, pouring into the sword in his hand. It's the sword path sword tablet. Junior brother Yu Yi has already comprehended the 5 sword tablets of the sword path. Hu Yu, Wang Yao, Huang Xin and others were all excited. Hunan and others were also surprised. Yu Yi had been a disciple of the True Dragon Divine Sect for less than a year, and he had already comprehended the 5 sword tablets. This speed was unprecedented. Yu Yi, this child, must be the hope of our True Dragon Divine Sect. Li Yuping, who was sitting next to Hunan, said excitedly. In her opinion, Yu Yi will definitely be able to comprehend all the 18 sword tablets of the sword path in the future. There has always been a legend about the sword path that, if someone can comprehend all the 18 sword tablets of the sword path, they can activate the supreme sword formation of the sword path. With the protection of this sword formation, the True Dragon Divine Sect will not be afraid, even if there are more gods attacking. But, Yu Yi's long sword cut through the heavy airwaves in front of Yang Xiaoshan and hit Yang Xiaoshan. "Get out of the True Dragon Square," Yu Yi shouted as he hit Yang Xiaoshan with a sword. Brother Xiaoshan. Yang Linga and King Zuan were so scared that they almost cried when they saw Yu Yi's long sword piercing Yang Xiaoshan. However, after Yu Yi finished speaking, he found that his long sword seemed to hit an iron wall, and Yang Xiaoshan didn't move at all. Not only did he not move at all, but his long sword couldn't penetrate Yang Xiaoshan's chest at all. A terrifying force surged out of Yang Xiaoshan's chest. The long sword in Yu Yi's hand was shaken away, and he himself was shaken back again and again, with blood spurting out of his mouth. What? Everyone was shocked. Yu Yi used all his strength to activate the power of the 5 sword monuments of the sword path, but he couldn't penetrate Yang Xiaoshan's body. Everyone looked and saw that the place where Yang Xiaoshan's chest was pierced was intact, and not a single hair fell off. What kind of physique is this? Is it the top divine body? Many strong men were shocked. No, even if it's a top divine body, it's impossible for it to not even break its skin. An old ancestor of the True Dragon God Sect shook his head. Because he knew the power of the Sword Path Sword Monument, the power of the 5 sword monuments was released at the same time. Even if it was a top divine body, it was impossible for it to not even break its skin. Hunan, Long Hao and others were all stunned. Yu Yi, who was blown away, climbed up from the ground with an unbelievable look on his face, and his face gradually became ferocious. He roared, "Yang Xiaoshan, even if you are a super divine body, today, I will definitely defeat you." When he said this, golden light surged all over his body, and a dazzling golden elixir flew out of his body. When the golden elixir flew out, everyone felt that their eyes were so bright that they could hardly open them. Looking at this golden elixir that looked like a miniature golden sun, many strong men exclaimed, "Top grade golden elixir." The golden elixir stood above Yu Yi's head, and Yu Yi was like a golden god of war. Originally, he said before that he would not use the top grade golden elixir, but now, he couldn't care so much. It's just an ordinary top grade golden elixir. Just when everyone was shocked by Yu Yi's golden elixir, Yang Xiaoshan said calmly. When Yu Yi heard this, he laughed. "Yang Xiaoshan, from your tone, could it be that you have condensed the 10 best golden pills?" Yang Xiaoshan smiled calmly. 10 best golden pills are nothing. When Long Hao heard this, he snorted, "You are arrogant and ignorant." Even Hunan shook his head, thinking that Yang Xiaoshan's tone was too big. What are the 10 best golden pills? In the tens of thousands of years of the Shenlong Empire, no one has been able to condense the 10 best golden pills. At this time, a golden pill slowly flew out of Yang Xiaoshan's body. Chapter 238 Child, what's your name? When this golden pill flew out of Yang Xiaoshan's body, suddenly, the world lost its color. All lights lost their luster. No matter how dazzling the light was, it lost all its luster and color in front of this golden pill. Even the best golden pills for entertainment lost their luster. First, the True Dragon Peak began to shake violently. Then, the peaks around the True Dragon Peak began to shake. Finally, the entire True Dragon sect was shaking. The entire True Dragon sect seemed to have experienced a super earthquake. It seemed that there was an infinite invisible force that forced the True Dragon sect to shake. Even the forbidden area in the back mountain of the True Dragon sect began to shake. Li Zhenqing, who was practicing in the forbidden area in the back mountain, was shocked and stopped. He flew out of the cave in shock and saw the terrifying light above the True Dragon Peak. He saw the circles of divine light in the light. What is this? Li Zhenqing, the spirit of the True Dragon sect, was shocked. Yes, yes, yes. His voice trembled, and he spoke incoherently with excitement. Yes, yes. What it was, he had never come out. And the True Dragon Square, Hunan, Long Hao, Li Hong, Long Lan, all the Super Sect ancestors, all the Super Sect disciples, all looked at Yang Xiaoshan's slowly rising golden elixir in horror. And Yu Yi was even more frightened and paralyzed. His face was pale, and he looked at Yang Xiaoshan's golden elixir with an unprecedented fear. What kind of golden elixir is this? Who can tell me what kind of golden elixir this is? An ancestor of the True Dragon Divine Sect trembled incomparably, because, in his cognition, this was definitely not one of the top 10 golden elixirs. Even the strongest golden elixir ranked first could not have such a terrifying and unparalleled power. Hunan, Li Hong, Longlan and others suddenly thought of an extremely distant ancient legend. Yes, yes, yes. Hunan was also excited and incoherent. Just when Hunan and Li Zhenqing were as excited as not to come out, suddenly, a sky-shaking dragon roar sounded from the deepest part of the forbidden area of the True Dragon Divine Sect. The dragon roared, resounding through all the spaces of the True Dragon Sect. A huge Tyrannosaurus Rex flew up from the deepest part of the True Dragon Sect's forbidden land, and the overwhelming dragon power swept across the world. Hunan, Long Hao, and all the True Dragon Sect's strong men looked at the deepest forbidden land of the True Dragon Sect in horror. Dragon Ancestor. You know, their dragon ancestor has been practicing for many years and never came out. Even if it was a big deal, their dragon ancestor would not come out. But now, he actually came out. Even the dragon ancestor in the deepest part of their True Dragon Sect's forbidden land was alarmed by Yang Xiaoshan's golden elixir. At this time, the dragon ancestor who was sleeping in the deepest part of the ground in the Dragon Imperial capital was also awakened, flew out from the deepest part of the ground in the Imperial capital, and came to the sky above the Imperial capital, looking at the direction of the True Dragon Sect in horror. Who is it? Who on earth is it? The voice of the dragon ancestor, like the thunder of the 9 heavens, resounded through the Imperial capital. There was shock and disbelief in his voice. All the strong men in the Imperial capital looked at the Shenlong ancestor who appeared in the sky above the Imperial capital in shock. The Shenlong ancestor had not appeared in many years. Even when Yang Xiaoshan controlled the divine fire last time, he only alarmed it and did not let it appear. But now, it has appeared. Just when the Shenlong ancestor appeared, huge figures of the Xianzang appeared in the sky above its forbidden land. When these huge figures appeared in the sky above the forbidden land of the Xianzang, the power of the gods swept across the world. Lin Yu, the leader of the Xianzang, and other ancestors of the Xianzang looked at the ancestors of the divine realm who appeared in the forbidden land in shock. These ancestors of the divine realm rarely appear in the world. Usually, even if one of them appears in the world, it is a major event for the sect. But now all the ancestors of the divine realm have appeared. What happened that actually alarmed all the ancestors of the divine realm in their Xianzang? Although Lin Yu didn't know what it was, he knew it must be a big deal, and it was related to the future of the Xianzang. Otherwise, it would be impossible for all the ancestors in the divine realm to be alarmed. All the ancestors in the divine realm of the Xianzang appeared, and like the divine dragon ancestor in the imperial capital, they all looked towards the true dragon divine sect. Where is Lin Yu? A divine realm ancestor of the Xianzang suddenly asked. The one who spoke was Wu Peng, the most powerful ancestor in the divine realm of the Xianzang. Lin Yu trembled all over and quickly flew forward and bowed deeply. Lin Yu is here. Check it quickly. Who in the true dragon divine sect condensed the divine grade golden pill? Wu Peng's voice was extremely heavy. Divine grade golden pill. When Lin Yu heard this, he almost fell from a high altitude. He finally understood why all the ancestors in the divine realm of their Xianzang were alarmed. Go. Wu Peng saw Lin Yu's absent-minded look and shouted angrily. Lin Yu was so scared that he trembled. Yes, ancestor. At this time, the ancestors of the gods in the forbidden areas of the ancient palace, Maha sect, Furung sword sect, etc. were all shocked and came out. For a time, the divine golden elixir appeared, and the gods in the world were shocked. Just when the ancestor of Shenlong, Wu Peng of the Xianzang, and others were shocked by the divine golden elixir that came out, everyone in Zhenlong Peak was looking at the divine golden elixir above Yangzai Ocean's head in shock. As Yangzai Ocean's divine golden elixir flew out, Yaoai's top grade golden elixir, which was originally dazzling in the sky, was completely dim, and fell from the sky. It seemed that it could not bear the power of the divine golden elixir at all, and was blasted down. Brother Zai Ocean, you are too strong. Suddenly, King Sun, who was standing next to Long Lan, waved her pink little hand and shouted excitedly. At the Imperial Pharmacist competition, King Sun's excited voice now reappeared in the world again. Brother Zai Ocean, I love you. King Sun shouted excitedly, his eyes full of excitement, admiration, and enthusiasm. The excited and coquettish voice was a little unbearable even for Yanglinger who was standing by. Just as King Sun shouted excitedly, suddenly, a figure broke through the air from the True Dragon Forbidden Land, and then the disciples of the True Dragon Divine Sect saw the huge Tyrannosaurus Rex with overwhelming dragon power and divine power also flying from the depths of the True Dragon Forbidden Land. In the blink of an eye, Li Zhenqing and the Tyrannosaurus Rex arrived at the True Dragon Peak at the same time. Hunan, Long Heo, Deng Hanqing and other True Dragon Divine Sect saints all bowed deeply and said excitedly, meet the ancestor, dragon ancestor. All the True Dragon Divine Sect disciples were so scared that they all knelt on the ground. Meet the ancestor, dragon ancestor. Even the Kinglian Tower Master Li Hong, Long Lan, Zhao Jinzhao and others hurriedly bowed and saluted. At the scene, disciples from all sects and factions bowed on the ground. Li Zhenqing seemed to have not seen the crowd, but walked towards Yangzai Ocean with great excitement. He looked at Yangzai Ocean's divine golden elixir and trembled. It is indeed a divine golden elixir. God bless my True Dragon Divine Sect. Divine golden elixir. Many powerful sect masters at the scene recalled the ancient legends that were extremely far away and were all horrified. Kid, what's your name? Li Zhenqing asked Yangzai Ocean with great excitement. His voice was very soft, as if he was afraid that his voice was too loud and would scare Yangzai Ocean. So cool. Writing this made my eyes brimmed with tears, and I hope it will be cool for you too. Chapter 239, True Dragon Divine Sect's Son. Ancestor, here's Yangzai Ocean. Hunan, who was shocked, stepped forward and said respectfully. Li Zhenqing was surprised, and then his face was full of surprise. So you are Zai Ocean. Of course he remembered the little guy who controlled the divine fire. Okay, haha, okay. After being surprised, Li Zhenqing laughed excitedly. It turned out that the little guy who condensed the divine golden elixir in front of him was the little guy who controlled the divine fire. Tyrannosaurus Rex suddenly said, "This boy be named the son of God of our true dragon divine sect." Son of God. All the ancestors and disciples of the true dragon divine sect were shocked. You know, since the establishment of the true dragon divine sect, the highest level is the saint disciple. No one has been named the son of God. Even Hunan was surprised. He didn't expect that their dragon ancestor would directly name Yang Xiaoshan as the son of God. This is an unprecedented honor for the true dragon divine sect. At this time, Deng Hanqing couldn't help but say, "Dragon ancestor, this is not appropriate. Our true dragon divine sect has never conferred a son of God." However, just as he finished speaking, the Tyrannosaurus Rex snorted coldly, and the mountain-like dragon claws flicked, and Deng Hanqing was hit hard, and was blown away from the true dragon peak and directly smashed into the opposite mountain. Not appropriate. The Tyrannosaurus Rex looked at Deng Hanqing coldly. "Whether it is appropriate or not, it is your turn to decide." Originally, Li Yuping relied on her status as the wife of the sect master, and was about to say that it was not appropriate. Now seeing Deng Hanqing's miserable appearance, her heart beat rapidly. The other saints of the true dragon divine sect were also terrified. Deng Hanqing lowered his head, not daring to say anything, but he was extremely angry in his heart. So, Hunan announced Yang Xiaoshan as the son of God of the true dragon divine sect on the spot. Li Zhenqing took Yang Xiaoshan's hand and smiled at him. "Xiaoshan, I have something to ask you. How about going to my cave?" All the disciples of the true dragon divine sect, including Hunan, looked at Yang Xiaoshan with envy. Who is Li Zhenqing? He is the oldest and most powerful ancestor of the divine realm of the true dragon divine sect. Even Hunan has never been invited by Li Zhenqing to sit in his cave. Yang Xiaoshan shook his head and said, "No, there is a true dragon assessment today. Let's do it next time." Puff. An elder of the true dragon divine sect almost spit out saliva. Yang Xiaoshan actually rejected the invitation of their ancestor for a true dragon assessment. Hunan was also dumbfounded. In fact, Yang Xiaoshan was not hypocritical. For him, today's true dragon assessment was really important. It was related to his cultivation in the true dragon secret realm and the 10,000 dragon divine flame that might exist in the true dragon secret realm. This was much more important than going to Li Zhenqing's cave. Li Zhenqing was stunned and obviously did not expect Yang Xiaoshan to reject him. He is the supreme leader in the true dragon divine sect, and no disciple has dared to refuse him for many years. However, after a moment of surprise, he laughed and said, "Okay, then next time." Then he said to Hunan, "Xiaoshan doesn't recognize my cave. If Xiaoshan wants to come to my cave in the future, you bring him." Seeing that he had become the guide, Hunan smiled bitterly in his heart and said respectfully, "Yes, ancestor." Li Zhenqing smiled at Yang Xiaoshan and said, "Xiaoshan, you concentrate on participating in the true dragon assessment. Dragon ancestor and I will not disturb you. Remember to come to my cave and sit." Then he and Tyrannosaurus Rex broke through the air and left, returning to the forbidden area of the true dragon divine sect. Everyone looked at Li Zhenqing and Tyrannosaurus Rex who left, and their moods were different. Afterwards, the true dragon assessment continued. But when everyone looked at Yang Xiaoshan again, their eyes had undergone earth-shaking changes. Especially Gu Shaozhang, Li Qian and others who had ridiculed Yang Xiaoshan before. There was more fear in their eyes, and in addition to fear, there was strong jealousy. Not to mention Gu Shaozhang and Li Qian. Even the ancestors of the sects such as Zhao Jinzhao, Jiu Wu and Wang Zhao were also jealous. That was a divine golden elixir. It only existed in ancient times. Even the most evil genius in ancient times could not condense it. However, in the next true dragon assessment, Yu Yi directly admitted defeat. Facing the divine golden elixir, he really couldn't muster up the courage to fight Yang Xiaoshan. Even Yu Yi directly admitted defeat, and the new disciples of the true dragon sect behind him did not have the courage to fight Yang Xiaoshan, and they all admitted defeat directly. In the end, Yang Xiaoshan won the first place in this true dragon assessment without suspense. Seeing this result, everyone sighed. At this point, the true dragon assessment ended, and the ancestors of the major sects came forward to congratulate Hunan. Hunan smiled so hard that his mouth was crooked. Yang Linga and King Zuan rushed to Yang Zai Ocean, pulled Yang Zai Ocean, and were extremely happy. Long Lan looked at Yang Zai Ocean in front of him, and it was hard to hide his joy. Young friend Yang has condensed a divine golden elixir, the only one in the world, and it is a blessing for our empire. Long Lan smiled from the bottom of his heart. Congratulations. He was really happy for Yang Zai Ocean. Yang Zai Lang smiled and said, "Thank you, Uncle Lan." He looked at Hunan, who was surrounded by the ancestors, and smiled so hard that his mouth was crooked. Fortunately, he just showed one divine golden elixir. If he showed 2 divine golden elixirs, Hunan might even have laughed his nose crooked. On the spot, Hunan announced to everyone in the True Dragon Divine Sect that the whole sect would celebrate for 10 days and 10 nights. Any sect that has a divine golden elixir disciple would celebrate for 10 days and 10 nights, not to mention a month. Immediately, Hunan invited the ancestors of all the major sects to hold a banquet in the True Dragon main hall. As the protagonist, Yang Zai Ocean also participated. After the banquet, Yang Zai Ocean returned to Tangshan Peak with Yang Linga, Yang Chao and others. King Zuan originally had a palace to live in, but he did not return to his palace, and returned to Tangshan Peak with Yang Zai Ocean. This time, Long Lan rarely stopped him. When the True Dragon Divine Sect celebrated, the news that Yang Zai Ocean had condensed a divine golden elixir quickly spread, and the Divine Dragon Empire was in an uproar. Many disciples of the sect even excitedly ran around to tell others. When the Prince of the Ancient Sword Kingdom, Guzi, who was still in the imperial capital of the empire, learned about the news that Yang Zai Ocean had condensed a divine golden elixir, he excitedly raised his arms and shouted to the sky, "Yang Shen, I love you." The male slaves in the Qinglang mansion were so scared that they clamped their buttocks and hid as far away as possible. While many disciples of the sect excitedly ran around to tell others, the main hall of the Stepping Heaven sect was dead silent, and the hall was suppressed and terrifying. Wu Peng sat on the throne in the hall and said in a heavy voice, "No matter what, Yang Zai Ocean must die." Ancestor Lin Yu, the leader of the Stepping Heaven sect, hesitated and said, "If Yang Zai Ocean hides in the True Dragon Divine Sect, it may be difficult to kill him." Wu Peng suddenly said, "Please ask the Hades." Hearing Wu Peng mention the Hades, Lin Yu and many ancestors in the Saint Realm were all shocked. Hades is the number 1 on the assassin list. His strength is still a mystery, but so far, there is no one he cannot kill. He once assassinated a person at the peak of the 10th level of the Saint Realm. But, if we ask Hades to do it, the price will be too high. Lin Yu shook his head, and he may not be willing to do it. He will do it, Wu Peng said confidently, with a dark bead in his hand. This bead seemed to come from hell. In the cold black light, there were faint sounds of thousands of ghosts sobbing. Pluto bead. Lin Yu and others were surprised. Wu Peng nodded and said, "Yes, Pluto bead. Pluto has been looking for Pluto bead for so many years. With this Pluto bead, he will definitely do it." Chapter 240, The King of Killers, Pluto. Looking at the Pluto pearl in Wu Peng's hand, Lin Yu said happily, "Okay, I will ask someone to find a way to contact Pluto." Wu Peng nodded, then changed the subject and said, "The blood of the sky blue thunder python has returned to its ancestors. What do you think about this?" Tang Hong, another ancestor of the god realm of the Tatian sect, said, "If we can form an alliance with the sky blue thunder python and that Lord Long, we can destroy the Dragon Emperor's family in no time." Yes, as long as we form an alliance with the Sky Blue Thunder Python and that Lord Long, plus the Blue Sea Divine Sect and the 4 Continents Imperial family, we can single-handedly overthrow the Dragon Emperor's family. Other gods and ancestors also spoke up. Wu Peng said to Lin Yu, "Search for the traces of the Sky Blue Thunder Python and Lord Long. At all costs, we must also win over Lord Long. Tell him that, as long as he is willing to form an alliance with our Tatian sect, he can choose anything in our Tatian sect's treasure house." Yes, ancestor. The next day, it was Yai's apprenticeship ceremony. Originally, the masters from all the major sects came to the True Dragon sect mainly for his apprenticeship ceremony, but after yesterday's True Dragon assessment, everyone lost interest in his apprenticeship ceremony. During the entire apprenticeship ceremony, Li Hong, Zhao Jinzhao, Wang Zhao and others were absent-minded. There was not even the expected laughter and joy at the scene. Even Yu Yi and the ancestor Long Hao could not laugh. Yang Xiaoshan did not go to the apprenticeship ceremony, but practiced the Tangshan sword technique at Tangshan Peak. He has been practicing the Tangshan sword technique. Now, he has practiced the 24th move 9 swords reincarnation. If Yang Xiaoshan had not participated in Yu Yi's apprenticeship ceremony before, Hu Yu, Zhu Mao Neo, Wang Yao and others would definitely have fired at Yang Xiaoshan again, but after yesterday's True Dragon assessment, several people were listless at the apprenticeship ceremony, not having the energy to even speak. The apprenticeship ceremony ended a bit hastily. The sun set in the sky. Yang Xiaoshan stood at Tangshan Peak, looking at the sunset in the sky. He liked watching the sunset very much. The light of the sunset covered everything on Earth, making everything on Earth look colorful. At this moment, suddenly, somewhere in Tangshan Peak, there was an amazing power fluctuation, and at the same time, there was a holy light rising into the sky. Yang Xiaoshan was not surprised, but happy to see the holy light rising into the sky. He got many Dragon Clan Emperor level pills in the Bahai Dragon Palace. After returning, he picked the best Dragon Clan Emperor level pill for the Black Dragon King. In the past 2 days, the Black Dragon King has been practicing in seclusion. It seems that the Black Dragon King, who has been stuck at the peak of the Emperor realm, is about to break through the Holy Realm. The Black Dragon King's breakthrough to the Holy Realm naturally attracted the attention of the high-level leaders of the True Dragon Divine Sect. Hunan heard the news and laughed happily. Great. 3 good things are coming. The Black Dragon King is Yang Xiaoshan's mount. Breaking through the Holy Realm can add more combat power to the True Dragon Divine Sect, which is naturally a good thing for the True Dragon Divine Sect. The next day, Hunan came to Yang Xiaoshan's mountain peak and personally gave Yang Xiaoshan a token, saying with a smile, "This Godson token is unique. I personally refined it yesterday, using the only piece of True Dragon Essence Stone in our True Dragon Sect." Yang Xiaoshan accepted the Godson token, and clasped his fists and said, "Thank you, Sect Master." Hunan shook his hand, and said with a smile, "Xiaoshan, I said that you can just call me Uncle Hu in the future." Then, he walked around Yang Xiaoshan's Tangshan Peak again, looked at the Tangshan stele erected by Yang Xiaoshan, and said with a smile, "Good stele, good swordsmanship." Now, he likes everything related to Yang Xiaoshan. When leaving, Hunan asked Yang Xiaoshan to prepare and go to the True Dragon Secret Realm to practice tomorrow. Late at night, the night was as cool as water. Yang Xiaoshan sat cross-legged on the cold jade bed to practice the dragon art. The dragon energy in his body rose, and more than 2,000 true Yuan dragons were entwined around his body. This time, after breaking through the realm of Wuzang, the power of the true dragon he awakened has reached more than 2,000. His true dragon body successfully broke through to the true dragon tyrant body. Because of this, even if Yu Yi activated the power of the 5 sword monuments and the sword path, he could not be shaken at all. With his current true dragon tyrant body's terrifying defense, let alone Yu Yi, who was at the first level of Wuzang, even if he broke through the 4th and 5th levels of Wuzang, he could not be shaken at all. The Black Tortoise Martial Soul and the Black Dragon Martial Soul coiled above Yang Xiaoshan's head, and the 9-day spiritual energy rolled down as he breathed in and out. After breaking through Wuzang, the 2 martial souls also changed significantly. The tortoise shell of the Black Tortoise Martial Soul became thicker and thicker, with intertwined patterns on it, as if hiding the deepest mysteries of heaven and earth. The golden flames in the eyes of the Black Dragon Martial Soul became stronger, and the dark power in its body rolled and swayed, and the Black Dragon scales became thicker and thicker. Unknowingly, the sky was already bright. Yang Xiaoshan stopped practicing, and came to the hall. King Xuan, Longlan and everyone from the Yang family were there. Because Yang Xiaoshan was going to practice in the True Dragon Secret Realm today, and would not come out until a year later, King Xuan and Longlan were also going back to the imperial capital, and they came to say goodbye to Yang Xiaoshan. When saying goodbye, King Xuan's eyes were full of tears, and she held Yang Xiaoshan's hand. "Brother Xiaoshan, when you come out of the True Dragon Secret Realm, remember to come to the imperial capital to see me, and then I will ask my father to let me marry you." Puff. The lollipop in Yang Linga's mouth sprayed out, and she stared at her brother. "Didn't you say it was okay? This has come to the point of talking about marriage. I don't believe you." Yang Chao and Hua Nying were also stunned. Yang Xiaoshen's face was a little hot because of the stares of his sister and parents. He smiled at King Xuan and said, "Okay, when I come out of the Qinglang secret realm, I will go to the imperial capital to see you." King Xuan was very happy when he heard it, and he hooked his fingers with Yang Xiaoshen. Finally, King Xuan and Longlin left Tangshan Peak and returned to the imperial capital. Yang Xiaoshen, with his sister and family seeing him off, came to the entrance of the True Dragon secret realm. Hunan personally opened the entrance to the secret realm for Yang Xiaoshen and sent Yang Xiaoshen in. When sending Yang Xiaoshen in, he told Yang Xiaoshen to make the most of every day in the True Dragon secret realm. After all, Yang Xiaoshen could only practice in it for 1 year. With everyone watching, Yang Xiaoshen walked into the True Dragon secret realm. The entrance to the secret realm was closed. However, no one noticed that a figure followed Yang Xiaoshen into the True Dragon secret realm 1 second before the entrance to the secret realm was closed. This figure, hidden in space, had a stealth technique that was many times better than the previous Shadow Knight demon. Even Hunan could not find this figure. Looking at the closed True Dragon secret realm, Hunan and everyone left. 1 year later, wait for Yang Xiaoshen to come out. After Yang Xiaoshen entered the True Dragon secret realm, he looked up and saw the mountains in front of him, spiritual medicines everywhere, and the pure True Dragon key floating everywhere in the space. This True Dragon secret realm is like a small world that has not yet been developed. While Yang Xiaoshen was flying, he suddenly turned around and asked, "Sir, are you not going to come out yet?" The figure that followed Yang Xiaoshen in was obviously stunned for a moment and finally emerged from the void. The one who came out was an old man with a cold aura all over his body. The old man held the death blade in his hand and looked at Yang Xiaoshen in surprise. "King of Killers, Hades." Yang Xiaoshen looked at the other party and said slowly. Chapter 241. Pluto was shocked. Hearing Yang Xiaoshen recognize his identity, Hades was surprised and looked at Yang Xiaoshen with doubt. "Tell me, who sent you?" Yang Xiaoshen looked at him and said, "I can spare your life." Hearing this, Hades laughed loudly. His laughter was hoarse and extremely harsh. "Boy, this is the True Dragon secret realm, which is completely isolated from the outside. Even if I kill you, Yang Zhenqing and Long Zhu outside will not know. You still spare my life." In the past 2 days, he has been holding back and not taking action, just to wait for Yang Xiaoshen to enter the True Dragon secret realm before taking action. After all, if he took action outside, it would alarm Yang Zhenqing, Long Zhu and others. Once he entered the True Dragon secret realm, he could do whatever he wanted. At this point, the death blade in his hand flashed with a cold light and instantly cut towards Yang Xiaoshen's throat. The death blade is a top-level holy weapon. No less than 30 super sect ancestors died under this death blade. With a wave of the death blade, the space in front of Yang Xiaoshen was cut open. Just as the death blade was about to cut Yang Xiaoshen's throat, suddenly, a giant claw with ice blue flames appeared. The giant claw with flames directly blocked the death blade. The death blade hit the giant claw with flames, splashing heavy flames. But what shocked Hades was that his extremely sharp death blade, which was said to be able to cut anything, only left a light white knife mark on the giant claw with flames. And he himself was shocked and retreated and rolled over. The death blade in his hand made a whimpering sound, as if trembling and fearful. He was shocked and looked over, only to see that a huge ice flame beast had appeared beside Yang Xiaoshen. Seeing this ice flame beast, Hades was shocked all over. His face changed drastically, and he looked unbelievable. Beast God. In the past, even the sky blue thunder python could only be called the king of divine beasts. The only one who could be called the beast god in the entire Red Moon Forest was the ice flame Kirin. The ice flame Kirin was also the only one in the Dragon Empire that was called the beast god by many powerful people. Because, in the entire Dragon Empire, only the ice flame Kirin is a super beast. Hades couldn't believe that the beast god Ice Flame Kirin was actually following Yang Xiaoshen. His face was pale. If he was in other places, he would still have a glimmer of hope to escape, but now he was in the True Dragon secret realm. Only Hunan could open the True Dragon secret realm. How could he escape? Seeing the beast god Ice Flame Kirin, He knew that it was impossible to kill Yang Xiaoshan again. He turned around and was about to break through the air and escape. Now, he had no choice but to escape to the deep mountains of the True Dragon secret realm and use the terrain to see if there was any hope of escape. However, just as he was about to turn around and escape, suddenly, a 1,000-foot giant tail swept over with such strength that Hades had never seen it in his life. Hades was shocked and used all his strength to swing the death blade in his hand. However, the death blade in his hand was swept away in an instant, and he himself was also blasted into the distant mountain. The sound of landslides continued. The Hades flew out of the rubble, vomiting blood, and the top-level holy weapon armor on his body had already been tattered. He looked at the Azure Thunder Python in horror, the king of divine beasts. The one who just made the move was the Azure Thunder Python. After the bloodline returned to its ancestral lineage and became a super divine beast, the Azure Thunder Python's strength was no weaker than the Ice Flame Kirin, and was even a little stronger than the Ice Flame Kirin. When the Hades was shocked, Yang Xiaoshan broke through the air and stood on the head of the Azure Thunder Python, and then flew over with the Azure Thunder Python. The Ice Flame Kirin followed closely beside Yang Xiaoshan. This scene was so shocking, driving the king of divine beasts, followed by the beast god. Even if the two super divine beasts did not emit any breath, it was enough to make the Hades' chest muscles tremble. Looking at this scene, he even forgot to escape. Or rather, he had no courage to escape at all. Although he was strong, he was only at the peak of the 10th level of the Holy Realm. He looked at Yang Xiaoshan standing on the head of the Azure Thunder Python in horror. Previously, when he accepted the mission of the Tatty insect, he was complacent, thinking that assassinating a martial master who had just broken through was no different from killing a weakling. Now, he realized that this was not a weakling at all. It was simply a prehistoric giant. Soon, Yang Xiaoshan and the Azure Thunder Python came to each other. He looked at each other coldly. Who sent you? The Hades' throat moved, but he still did not speak. Before, the Shadow Knight demon came to kill me, and I gave him 2 chances. Yang Xiaoshan said coldly, but unfortunately, he did not cherish the last chance. Hearing Yang Xiaoshan mention the Shadow Knight demon, the Hades were shocked. Yang Xiaoshan meant that the Shadow Knight demon was dead. The Hades' face changed. Although he said that he could survive, he would have to face the raging anger of the Tatty insect. Thinking of the giant Tatty insect, he trembled in his heart. But if he didn't say it, he would die. As long as he shook his head, what awaited him would be the devastating blow of the 2 super beasts. Suddenly, his whole body was filled with darkness, and he turned into wisps of black light and disappeared on the spot. Seeing that Hades was still planning to escape, Yang Xiaoshan said without hesitation, "Kill." Immediately, the Ice Flame Kirin's giant claws slapped down, and the land, mountains, trees, and even space in front of him were all frozen. In the blink of an eye, the place that Yang Xiaoshan could see turned into a blue ice world, like a world in a fairy tale. As all the space was frozen, Hades, who had just disappeared on the spot, was frozen on a mountain hundreds of miles away. Hades still maintained the posture of running away, with a face full of fear. Yang Xiaoshan, the Azure Thunder Python, and the Ice Flame Kirin came to Hades, looked at the frozen Hades, and shook their heads. "It's a pity that you, like the Shadow Knight demon, did not cherish the last chance." Hades was full of regret, and wanted to speak, but he could not break the ice power of the Ice Flame Kirin at all, and could only watch the Ice Flame Kirin's giant claws slap down. Boom. The Ice Flame Kirin's giant claws directly slapped Hades into the ground. The entire mountain was turned into powder. Hades lay at the bottom of the mountain. At this time, the Ice Flame Kirin's original ice power had dissipated. He lay at the bottom of the mountain, his body bloody and fleshy, and he could no longer be seen as a human. Hades opened his mouth. Looking at Hades, who was not dead yet, the Ice Flame Kirin slapped him again with one claw, and once again pressed him into the ground. Hades, who was about to speak just now, was silent. The first on the Dragon Empire's assassin list, Hades, die. Yang Xiaoshan waved his hand, and the Thunder Tribulation divine fire flew out, burning Hades' body clean, and with one hand, he took the death blade into his hand. Then, not far from the body, he found Hades' space ring, opened it, and saw that it was full of spiritual stones, spiritual medicines, and secret books. There were many more spiritual stones than the Shadow Knight demon. It seems that being an assassin, everyone is rich. Chapter 242. King Zuin is injured. He did not count the spirit stones, but looked through the secret books. There were several supreme magical powers in the secret books. One of the supreme magical powers, Kiss of Death, aroused Yang Xiaoshen's interest. He also knew about Hades, the #1 assassin in the empire. This Kiss of Death was the magical power that made Hades famous. It was this supreme magical power that gave him the title of Hades. It is rumored that, if this supreme magical power is cultivated to the extreme, it can turn into the god of death and even communicate with the power of hell. It is unknown whether it is true or not. Yang Xiaoshen carefully read this Kiss of Death from beginning to end. After confirming that he had memorized it completely, he took the Sky Blue Thunder Python and the Ice Flame Kirin to wander around in the True Dragon Secret Realm. Anyway, he still had to stay in the True Dragon Secret Realm for another year, and he was not in a hurry to practice. The most important thing now was to find the 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame. The True Dragon Secret Realm was larger than Yang Xiaoshen had imagined. The Sky Blue Thunder Python took Yang Xiaoshen flying for a whole day, but he had not even completed a circle. It was not until 2 days later that Yang Xiaoshen returned to the starting point. However, after 2 days, Yang Xiaoshen searched almost every corner of the True Dragon Secret Realm, but did not find the 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame. Unwilling to give up, Yang Xiaoshen took the two beasts to search carefully again. This time, he even activated the Thunder Tribulation Divine Fire to see if he could draw out the 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame. However, even if he activated the Thunder Tribulation Divine Fire and searched carefully again, there was still no trace of the 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame. Yang Xiaoshen was disappointed. Could it be that the 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame is not in the True Dragon Secret Realm? The 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame is probably not in the True Dragon Secret Realm. Bing Iron Killen shook his head. He and Giant King Li Mang continued to search and sense with their spiritual sense. If the 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame was in the True Dragon Secret Realm, it would be impossible for them not to find it. After searching twice without success, Yang Xiaoshen stopped searching, calmed his mind, and began to practice. He came to the place where the True Dragon Key was the most concentrated in the True Dragon Secret Realm, sat down cross-legged, and started to practice the beginning dragon technique. Suddenly, the Black Tortoise and Black Dragon martial spirits emerged. The power of the two supreme martial kings permeated the entire True Dragon Secret Realm. The True Dragon energy surged from all directions, rolling and pouring into Yang Xiaoshen's body like seawater. Yang Xiaoshen was full of dragon power. Although it was not the first time that Bing Iron Killen and Giant King Thunder Python saw Yang Xiaoshen's two supreme martial souls, they were still shocked every time they saw Yang Xiaoshen's two supreme martial souls. Young Master will definitely become the lord of my martial soul world in the future. Bing Iron Killen looked at Yang Xiaoshen who was practicing and said, in the past 100,000 years, there has only been one lord of the martial soul world, that is, Han Feng, the leader of Tangshan Divine Sect. After Han Feng, there is no more lord of the divine. I really want to see the day when young master becomes a lord of the divine in the future. Giant King Thunder Python also sighed. Let's practice too. If we don't work harder, young master will catch up with us soon. Bing Iron Killen said with a wry smile. The two beasts saw Yang Xiaoshen's growth. That speed made the two beasts tremble with fear. Afterwards, the two beasts also began to practice in the nearby mountains. Time passed. Yang Xiaoshen practiced in the True Dragon Secret Realm without any self-forgetfulness, devouring the True Dragon Key of the True Dragon Secret Realm eagerly. After the two supreme martial spirits devoured the True Dragon Key, they were even more radiant. Especially the Black Dragon martial spirit. The dragon horns became longer and thicker, the dragon scales became harder and darker, and the dragon body also grew in circles at a speed visible to the flesh. Flowers bloom and fall. It is already winter. There is a cold spring in the True Dragon Secret Realm. Yang Xiaoshen would occasionally go to the cold spring for a swim after practicing. with the true dragon key of the true dragon secret realm, plus Yang Xiaoshen's continuous swallowing of the triple heavenly tribulation thunder water and the top grade taking UI pill obtained from the Thunder God Cave Mansion, Yang Xiaoshen's cultivation level has improved much faster than when he was in the Martial King realm. Yang Xiaoshen, who had just broken through the martial sect, is becoming more powerful day by day. From the first level of Wuzang, he broke through the second level, the third level, and the fourth level of Wuzang. Almost every 2 months, he broke through a small realm. Unknowingly, it has been nearly a year. There are only a few days left before Yang Xiaoshen will leave the True Dragon Secret Realm. When he entered the True Dragon Secret Realm, Yang Xiaoshen was less than 11 years old. Now, he is almost 12 years old. Yang Xiaoshen, who is almost 12 years old, is nearly 1.6 meters tall. He has an upright figure, handsome looks, and masculine aura, especially his eyes, which are deep and charming, like stars. As for strength, he has broken through to the peak of the 6th level of Wuzang. Seeing that there are only a few days left before leaving the True Dragon Secret Realm, Yang Xiaoshen, who is still thinking about the 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame, began the third search. However, to Yang Xiaoshen's disappointment, there is still no trace of the 10,000 Dragons Divine Flame after the third search. Seeing that the entrance to the True Dragon Secret Realm is open, Yang Xiaoshen can only come out of the True Dragon Secret Realm. The people of the Yang family who were guarding outside saw Yang Xiaoshen coming out and greeted him happily. Brother. Yang Linga was the first to rush up, waving her pink hands. Just like a year ago, Yang Linga's braid was still swinging when she ran. But compared to a year ago, the braid was much longer, and Yang Linga was much taller. Girl. Yang Xiaoshen smiled and touched his sister's hair. Yang Chao and Huangying came up, and Huangying smiled and said, "This girl, almost every day she calculates how many days it will take you to come out of the True Dragon Secret Realm." Yang Linga smiled and said, "Of course, I'm still waiting for my brother to buy me candy. Be careful, if you eat more, you'll become a fat girl." Yang Xiaoshen smiled. Everyone laughed. So, everyone laughed and talked all the way back to Tangshan Peak. On the way, Yang Linga and Yang Xiaoshen talked about Kingston. "Brother, you don't know, a few days ago, my sister-in-law was bullied." Yang Linga waved her fist, looking angry. Yang Xiaoshen was surprised. Kingston was the princess of the Dragon Empire. Who dared to bully her? It's Jiuo Hong, the crown prince of the Four Continents Empire. Yang Linga said angrily, "You don't know how arrogant Jiuo Hong was during your absence." It turned out that when Yang Xiaoshen was practicing in the True Dragon Secret Realm, the Four Continents Empire sent envoys to the Dragon Empire. This time, Jiuo Hong, the crown prince of the Four Continents Empire, also followed the delegation to the Dragon Empire. After entering the Dragon Empire, Jiuo Hong, as a martial arts master, specifically challenged the martial arts masters of the Dragon Empire. He even said that he would challenge all the martial arts masters of the Dragon Empire by himself. When the genius disciples of the major super sects of the Dragon Empire heard this, they were naturally furious and went to fight. However, even the martial arts masters of the top 10 super sects such as the Ancient God Sect, the Funan Sword Sect, and the Maha God Sect were not Jiuo Hong's opponents. And no one could survive 3 moves of Jiuo Hong. Even many people couldn't survive even 1 move. Jiuo Hong was invincible all the way. After arriving at the imperial capital, he became even more arrogant. He said that all geniuses in our Shenlong Empire were trash, including the descendants of the Shenlong imperial family. Yang Linga said, sister-in-law was so angry that she went to fight him. Needless to say, King Xuan was defeated in the end. Is King Xuan injured? Yang Xiaoshen asked. Yang Linga hesitated. Seeing his sister's expression, Yang Xiaoshen felt a sinking feeling in his heart. Chapter 243 Punching the Four Great Ancestors. Is King Xuan seriously injured? Yang Xiaoshen asked in a deep voice. Yang Linga shook her head and said, the injury is not serious. After all, Jiuo Hong still has some concerns. However, I heard that, when he fought with my sister-in-law, he focused on the front of my sister-in-law. At this point, Yang Linga was angry. This Jiuo Hong is very vulgar. Later, Yang Xiaoshen learned that King Xuan had an arm broken. Yang Xiaoshen's eyes turned cold. Father, mother, I'm going to the imperial capital. Yang Xiaoshen took a deep breath and suppressed the raging anger in his heart. Yang Chao and Huan Ying wanted to say something but stopped. Brother, I'll go with you. Yang Linga waved her little pink fist. No, I can go by myself. Yang Xiaoshen shook his head. Yang Linga pouted and nodded. Brother, beat Jiuo Hong into a pig's head, she said angrily. Don't worry. Yang Xiaoshen said slowly, I will let him taste Shuriken 100 times. Luo King and others who knew the horror of Shuriken all trembled in their stomachs. That was 100 times of Shura power. It was hard for them to imagine what the Prince of the Four Continents would become after being tortured by 100 times of Shura power. Xiaoshen, be careful. Yang Chao couldn't help but said. Don't worry, father, I will come back safely. After Yang Xiaoshen finished speaking, he jumped onto the head of the Black Flood Dragon King, rode the Black Flood Dragon King through the air, and disappeared into the sky in the blink of an eye. Before entering the True Dragon Secret Realm, Yang Xiaoshen gave the last Dragon Ball obtained from the Blue Sea Dragon Palace to the Black Flood Dragon King. This year, the Black Flood Dragon King, who was already at the peak of the King Beast, finally evolved his bloodline to the Divine Beast with the help of the Dragon Ball. The Black Flood Dragon King broke through the Saint Realm, and the speed of evolving into a Divine Beast was more than 10 times faster than before. Soon, Yang Xiaoshen left the True Dragon Divine Sect and came to the Imperial capital at an astonishing speed. Yang Xiaoshen and the Black Flood Dragon King left the True Dragon Divine Sect, and soon they were known by all forces. Not long after Yang Xiaoshen left the True Dragon Divine Sect, 4 powerful auras followed behind him. These 4 powerful auras were all at the level of ancestors. Soon, Yang Xiaoshen learned about the 4 powerful auras following behind him through the Ice Flame Kirin. It seems that there are quite a few people who want him dead. Yang Xiaoshen sneered. In this case, he would first practice Shura power today. After leaving the True Dragon Sect far enough away, when passing a barren mountain, suddenly, one of the auras could not help but take the lead in attacking Yang Xiaoshen. After a flash of cold light, a long sword instantly pierced in front of Yang Xiaoshen's throat. The speed of the long sword was amazing, many times faster than the Shadow Knight Demon, and even compared with the speed of Hades' Death Blade, it was not much inferior. Just when the opponent's long sword was about to pierce Yang Xiaoshen's throat, it suddenly stopped in midair and could not pierce forward half an inch. The person holding the sword was a grey-clothed man. The other party looked at this strange scene in surprise. He knew that his sword was powerful just now, and even many ancestors of the 10th level of the Holy Realm might not be able to block it. However, it was blocked by an invisible force in front of Yang Xiaoshen, and it was completely blocked. Just as he was surprised, there was a sudden explosion above his head. He looked up suddenly and saw the sky full of divine thunder. He was horrified. Before he could retreat, the sky full of divine thunder had completely covered, submerged, and swallowed him. From a distance, he saw a sea of thunder formed by the sky full of divine thunder above the 9 heavens, which fell down and directly blasted this peak of the late 10th level of the Holy Realm into the ground. When the sea of thunder dissipated, a terrifying deep pit appeared on the ground of the wasteland. The deep pit covered an area of dozens of miles, was bottomless, and was dark. The residual energy of divine thunder was still constantly emerging from the ground. This scene frightened the other 3 masters hiding in the dark, and their hearts stopped suddenly, and their hair stood on end. Behind Yang Xiaoshen, a divine beast as big as a giant mountain appeared at some point. Sky Blue Thunder Python. Seeing this divine beast, the 3 people almost trembled and lost their voices. But the 3 people hid in the dark, tensed up tightly, clenched their teeth tightly, and dared not make any slight sound. However, just when the 3 were terrified to the extreme, a cold voice suddenly sounded in their ears. Are you 3 here to see the scenery? This voice was too abrupt, and the 3 were scared to death. The 3 turned their heads and saw the Ice Flame Kirin standing behind them, with ice blue flames all over its body. Seeing the Ice Flame Kirin, the 3 were almost scared to death. Beast God. One of them could no longer hold his teeth and blurted out a trembling voice. However, what responded to him was the Ice Flame Kirin's huge claws as sharp as a hill. The giant claws covered the 3 people at the same time. The 3 were shocked and attacked with all their strength. However, the three found that their attacks hit the giant claws, which only splashed heavy ice flowers. The Kirin's giant claws could not be shaken at all. Boom. The three felt their whole body paused and were hit by the Kirin's giant claws and shot directly into the ground. The ground was blown up. The sandstorm reappeared. The ground shook, and the mountains in the distance were crumbling. Yang Xiaoshan looked coldly at the four people who were blasted into the ground. He did not ask who sent them. Instead, he asked the Azure Thunder Python and the Ice Flame Kirin to temporarily seal the power of the four people with a secret method, and then lifted them up. Looking at the four people who were lifted up, Yang Xiaoshan used the Sky Thousand Swords to come in front of the four people. Without saying a word, he directly blasted the first person's belly with the Shura Force. The first person's internal organs seemed to be cut by thousands of knives, and his face was deformed in pain. Seeing this, the other three people's faces changed. You know, they are all in the 10th level of the Holy Realm. How tough are their internal organs? However, they are still blasted by Yang Xiaoshan's Shura Force, and feel extremely painful. It can be seen how terrifying Shura Force is. Yang Xiaoshan came to the other three people, and blasted them one by one with Shura Force. The other three people were all distorted by the blast. Seeing the four great ancestors of the 10th level of the Holy Realm being hung there by the two super beasts, and then being blasted by Yang Xiaoshan one by one, the Black Dragon King was dry-mouthed. This is the 10th level of the Saint Realm. Normally, if the gods don't come out, they are the top existences. But now they are being punched by Yang Xiaoshan one by one. Is there anything crazier? After Yang Xiaoshan punched once, he started from the first person and punched a second time. However, it has been a long time since he used the Shura power, and he is a little rusty. Yang Xiaoshan quickly finished the second time, and then the third and fourth times. After the fourth time, the four Saint Realm 10th level ancestors looked at Yang Xiaoshan again, and they were all terrified. Real fear. Every time the Shura power punched into the body, the power of 1,000 cuts and 6 knives kept rotating in the four people's internal organs. So the more they were punched, the stronger the power of 1,000 cuts and 6 knives was. Even though the four people were Saint Realm ancestors, after being punched 4 times, they all felt like they had entered hell and were being tortured by 1,000 cuts and 6 knives. So, when Yang Xiaoshan was about to hit him for the 5th time, the old ancestor who had made the first move was so frightened that his whole body trembled, and he hoarsely said, "I'll tell you, I was sent by the Tatian sect." Tatian sect. Upon hearing that the other party was sent by the Tatian sect, Yang Xiaoshan punched him in the belly with Shura Force again. The sound was like beating a drum. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 244 The Prince of Four Continents. The late 10th level Saint Realm ancestor was in so much pain that he couldn't speak. He opened his mouth and wanted to say he had already confessed that it was the Tatian sect. Why are you still attacking? Yang Xiaoshan came to the second ancestor. The second ancestor's face was pale and he trembled. I was sent by the Furlong Sword sect. Furlong Sword sect. Yang Xiaoshan heard it and punched it again. The sound was still like beating a drum. The other two ancestors were so scared that their hearts almost jumped out. Yang Xiaoshan came to the two with an expressionless face, and then he blasted out Shuriken one by one. After Yang Xiaoshan blasted Shuriken 10 times, the faces of the 4 10th level Saint Realm ancestors all turned colorful. The 4 people were sent by the Tatian sect, Furlong Sword sect, Ancient God Palace, and Maha God sect. Yang Xiaoshan was not surprised that the Tatian sect, Furlong Sword sect, and Ancient God Palace sent people to kill him. What surprised him was that the Maha God sect also sent people. After all, he had no conflict with the Maha God sect. Could it be that the Maha sect had already found out that Chen Lingayan, Zhang Hao and the other 4 were killed by themselves? Yang Xiaoshan looked coldly at the 4 people who were destroyed by Shuriken. The ancestor who was at the peak of the 10th level of the Holy Realm sent by the Tatian sect was called the Barefoot Old Demon. This person was both good and evil. He had been famous for many years and was a figure that made masters of various sects tremble in fear. Unexpectedly, he had been used by the Tatian sect. The one sent by the Fulung Sword sect was the owner of the killer building, Xian Zhengai, who was a master of the late 10th level of the Holy Realm and the second on the Dragon Empire killer list, ranking only below the Hades. Unexpectedly, the Fulung Sword sect asked Xian Zhengai to kill him. The killer building was very powerful. As the owner of the killer building, Xian Zhengai had not made a move for many years, but every time he made a move, it was a sky-high price. The ancient palace and the Matter sect sent to kill him were called the Thousand Snake Sword Master and the Blood Prison Swordsman, both of whom were terrifying. The Thousand Snake Sword Master is the ancestor of the current owner of the Thousand Snake Villa, while the Blood Prison Sword Master is a loner with superb swordsmanship. With one strike, the Blood Prison appears. Both of them are strong men in the middle stage of the 10th level of the Holy Realm. Although their strength is not as good as that of the barefoot old demon and the killer building master Xian Zhengai, they are also extremely strong. After all, the ancestor of the Fulung Sword sect, Jiu Wu, is only at the peak of the early 10th level of the Holy Realm. When Yang Xiaoshan was about to use the 11th Shura power, the barefoot old demon cried, "Don't bombard me anymore, okay? Okay." Seeing the barefoot old demon's cry-like request, Xian Zhengai, the Thousand Snake Sword Master, and the Blood Prison Sword Master also cried and begged Yang Xiaoshan not to bombard me anymore. "If we bombard me again, we will die." The barefoot old demon trembled and said, "We will really die." Yang Xiaoshan took out a pill and said, "This is the control pill I made. You swallow it." The barefoot old demon looked at the pill in Yang Xiaoshan's hand. His face changed, and he hesitated. Seeing the other party hesitate, Yang Xiaoshan directly blasted out a Shura force. The barefoot old demon was in so much pain that tears came to his eyes. Yang Xiaoshan looked at Xian Zhengai. Xian Zhengai's face changed drastically. How could he dare to hesitate? "I do." Yang Xiaoshan threw the pill to the other party, and Xian Zhengai swallowed it without hesitation. Then, the Thousand Snake Sword Master and the Blood Prison Swordsman also swallowed the pills one by one. Finally, Yang Xiaoshan's eyes fell on the barefoot old demon again, with murderous intent in his eyes. The barefoot old demon didn't dare to hesitate this time, and swallowed Yang Xiaoshan's pill. Of course, the four people surrendered to Yang Xiaoshan, not only because they were afraid of the destruction of Shura Force, but also because of the Ice Flame Kirin and the Sky Blue Thunder Python. Who are the Ice Flame Kirin and the Sky Blue Thunder Python? Two super beasts. Even the one in the Tatian sect and the one in the Imperial capital are wary of them, but now they are willing to follow Yang Xiaoshan. It is for this reason that the four people are willing to surrender to Yang Xiaoshan. Yang Xiaoshan's face eased when he saw the four people surrender. Then he took out 4 black battle robes and asked the 4 people to wear them, and asked the 4 people to wear ghost head masks, follow him, and continue to fly to the Imperial capital. When flying to the Imperial capital, Yang Xiaoshan learned from the 4 people that the barefoot old demon did not join the Tatian sect. He had met the leader of the Tatian sect, Lin Yu, several times. The other party found him and promised him a treasure, asking him to help. The Thousand Snake Sword Master and the Blood Prison Sword Master also accepted the treasures from the Ancient God Palace and the Matter God sect before they were willing to help. "Don't worry, young master, I will return the things to the Tatian sect when the time comes." The barefoot old demon quickly promised. "Then we will cut off all ties with the Tatian sect and have no relationship anymore." Xian Zhengai, the Thousand Snake Sword Master, and the Blood Prison Sword Master also quickly promised. The night was quiet. It was already night. Yang Xiaoshan did not stop to rest, driving the Black Dragon King and continuing to rush to the Imperial capital with the 4 ancestors. Previously, the 4 great ancestors were severely injured by the Ice Flame Kirin and the Azure Thunder Python. On the way, Yang Xiaoshan gave each of them a few drops of triple heavenly tribulation thunder water. Looking at the triple heavenly tribulation thunder water, they suddenly felt that it was worth it, even if they were abused by Shura power a few more times. After swallowing a few drops of triple heavenly tribulation thunder water, it was like eating some kind of cover within a cover. Soon, their waists and legs were no longer sore, they had more energy to walk, and even their stomachs did not hurt. Soon, their injuries recovered. The sky gradually brightened. Just as Yang Ocean rode the Black Dragon King and led the 4 great ancestors to approach the imperial capital, Jiuo Hong chewed the spiritual fruit in the imperial capital and led his men to the Kinglian restaurant out of boredom. Seeing Jiuo Hong leading his men to the Kinglian restaurant to drink and have fun, Wang Zhao's disciple Wu Yu and a large number of medicine hall masters hurried over from the other end of the street. Coming in front of Jiuo Hong, Wu Yu bowed and smiled ingratiatingly. "I'm Wu Yu, a senior deacon of the medicine hall of the Shenlong Empire. My master is Wang Zhao, the Grand Elder of the medicine hall and the next master of the medicine hall. He knows that His Royal Highness the Crown Prince needs the top grade taking UI pills, so he asked me to send 10 pills to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince." Jiuo Hong raised his eyelids and motioned for his men to accept them. Wang Zhao, right? I see. Is there anything else? Wu Yu still bowed and smiled. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince wants to challenge the disciples of our country's Wu Zhang, but can't find an opponent. Perhaps there is someone that His Royal Highness the Crown Prince would be interested in. Who? Jiuo Hong asked casually and continued walking towards the Kinglian restaurant. Wu Yu followed behind and said, "Yang Ocean." Jiuo Hong smiled when he heard it. "The Yang Ocean who claims to have condensed a divine golden elixir? I know that he just broke through the martial sect realm a year ago. He seems to be practicing in the True Dragon secret realm." Seeing that Jiuo Hong didn't take Yang Ocean seriously, Wu Yu hurriedly said, "Your Highness the Crown Prince doesn't know that Yang Ocean has already come out of the True Dragon secret realm. I got the news that he seems to be rushing to the imperial capital. He has a close relationship with Princess Kingsun. He should be coming for you, Your Highness the Crown Prince." Jiuo Hong smiled when he heard it. "If he really comes for me, he's looking for death. Then, I will torture him to death." Wu Yu immediately said, "Your Highness the Crown Prince must not take it lightly. This Yang Ocean previously bid for the 6-fold Heavenly Tribulation Thunderwater. If he uses the 6-fold Heavenly Tribulation Thunderwater and the True Dragon energy to practice, my cultivation level is probably not weak now. Moreover, he has condensed a divine golden elixir." Jiuo Hong said contemptuously, "What's the use of a divine golden elixir? He is only an 11th level martial spirit. I can break both of his legs with just one hand." Chapter 245. In my eyes, he is just a piece of hair. No wonder Jiuo Hong is so confident. Since entering the Dragon Empire, even the peak of the 10th level of Wuzhan can hardly stop him. What's more, Yang Ocean, who just entered the realm of Wuzhan a year ago. Wu Yu saw this and was about to say something, but Jiuo Hong said impatiently, "Okay, don't disturb my elegant mood of drinking." Then he took a large number of men into the Kinglian restaurant. Wu Yu could only swallow his words back. An hour later, when Yang Ocean arrived at the imperial capital, it was already bright. He put away the Black Dragon King and entered the imperial capital. The barefoot old demon, Cheyenne Hengai and 4 others, wearing black battle robes and ghost-headed masks, followed behind Yang Ocean. Because the barefoot old demon and the 4 wore ghost-headed masks, they were intercepted by the city gate guards when they entered the imperial capital. However, when Yang Ocean showed Kingsun's Cheyenne Long Jade pendant, the city gate guards all knelt on the ground. The powerful people from the major sects passing by all looked sideways. After Yang Ocean and the barefoot old demon left Zuilan, the city gate guards dared to stand up. Who is he? Is he the son of a minister? Seeing the city gate guards kneeling on the ground, a sect disciple looked at Yang Ocean's back and asked in surprise, "Yang Ocean?" A sect elder next to him said with a solemn face. The sect disciple took a breath and said, "Young god of war, Yang Shen. He is also the young god of medicine." The sect elder looked at Yang Ocean's departing figure in awe. Since the Empire Pharmacist competition, Yang Ocean has been called the young god of medicine. After the True Dragon assessment, Yang Ocean has another title, the young god of war. The combination of the young god of medicine and the young martial soul is called Yang Shen. He is also the only young man in the Dragon Empire who is called a god by the powerful men of the major sects. So he is Yang Shen. After learning about Yang Xiaoshen's identity, a disciple even knelt down in front of Yang Xiaoshen excitedly, with fanatical worship in his eyes. Control the divine fire, and refine the mysterious elixir at the level of the martial king. Condensing the only divine golden elixir in the ages, no matter which one, is enough to make many disciples of the Dragon Empire worship Yang Xiaoshen crazily. He is Yang Shen. Young Master Yang Shen. Soon, the news of Yang Xiaoshen's coming to the imperial capital spread, and instantly shocked the whole city. On the streets where Yang Xiaoshen walked, disciples of the sects and family disciples bowed deeply and shouted excitedly. Some disciples, like the previous disciples, even knelt excitedly. Some female disciples knew that Yang Xiaoshen was coming, and they also ran out of the courtyard attic excitedly. Yang Shen. Yang Shen. He is so handsome. So handsome. So handsome and cute. Those female disciples were so excited that their beautiful eyes were filled with tears. Yang Shen, I love you. Some female disciples even shouted, shouting in the same coquettish way as kings do. Yang Shen, we love you. One by one, the female disciples became bolder, put their little hands on their cherry lips, and shouted hard. The barefoot old demon, Xian Zhengai and the other four had never expected that Yang Xiaoshen's arrival would cause such a sensation in the imperial capital, and would make the disciples of the major sects and families in the imperial capital so crazy. At this time, they deeply realized the status of Yang Xiaoshen in the hearts of the disciples of the Shenlong Empire. Feeling the excitement and enthusiasm of the people around them for Yang Xiaoshen, they were sweating profusely, and had a deep sense of guilt. Fortunately, they did not kill Yang Xiaoshen. If they had killed Yang Xiaoshen before, they would be the eternal sinners of the Shenlong Empire. Even Yang Xiaoshen did not expect that the disciples of various sects would be so excited. Everyone, get up. Looking at the excitedly kneeling disciples, Yang Xiaoshen said, and then exerted a force to lift everyone up. Yang Shen is so handsome. This move caused the female disciples to scream even more. Yang Xiaoshen was nearly 12 years old, and had a handsome appearance. Coupled with his previous legendary deeds, in the eyes of these female disciples, any action of his was handsome. Hearing the screams of these female disciples, Yang Xiaoshen was sweating. At this time, Jiuo Hong was drinking in the Kinglian restaurant. He was enjoying himself, and was very excited. Suddenly, he heard a commotion outside. Many disciples were scrambling to go outside. He felt strange. Check what's going on. Jiuo Hong said to his subordinates. Soon, his subordinates came back to report, Your Highness, Yang Xiaoshen is here. Yang Xiaoshen. Jiuo Hong straightened up. Yes, Yang Xiaoshen has arrived in the imperial capital. After his arrival, he caused shock and excitement among the disciples of the major sects in the imperial capital. Just now, many disciples of the restaurant went out just to see him. His subordinates bowed their heads and said. Jiuo Hong frowned when he heard it. He didn't expect Yang Xiaoshen to have such a high reputation in the Shenlong Empire. Hearing the excited shouting of Yang Shen outside, Jiuo Hong slammed the wine glass on the table, stood up and said coldly, God great golden elixir? Let's go out and see this Yang Xiaoshen. Then he walked out of the restaurant with his subordinates. Wu Yu, who was guarding outside, saw it and followed him with his subordinates. In the courtyard behind the Kinglian restaurant, Li Qian and Gu Shaozang were studying the method of refining medicine. Suddenly, they heard the excited voice outside shouting Yang Shen, and they stopped. Yang Xiaoshen. Gu Shaozang's face was as gloomy as water. Let's go out and take a look, Li Qian said in a deep voice. Over the past year, the two have been studying the method of refining medicine day and night, and improving their level of refining medicine, so that they can defeat Yang Xiaoshen one day. Especially Gu Shaozang, who has been looking for an opportunity to compete with Yang Xiaoshen in refining medicine. So, the two walked out of the Kinglian restaurant. When the two came outside, they saw many disciples running forward on the street outside. The two also followed the crowd. Looking at the excited expressions of the crowd, Gu Shaozang's face became more gloomy. Just as Yang Xiaoshen walked forward, Jiuo Hong led a large group of men to the other end of the street. Jiuo Hong was followed by a large number of masters from the Four Continents Empire. He was very conspicuous in the crowd. Yang Xiaoshan saw Jiuo Hong coming from a distance. Jiuo Hong also saw Yang Xiaoshan from a distance. Young master, he is from the Four Continents Empire. Xian Zhengai, the owner of the killer building, said. Yang Xiaoshan's eyes fixed. Since he is from the Four Continents Empire, the identity of the boy walking in front of him is obvious. Jiuo Hong was about 15 or 16 years old, tall, and soon came to Yang Xiaoshan. Yang Xiaoshan. Jiuo Hong looked down at Yang Xiaoshan, shaking a jade fan that he had picked up from an unknown cave. Jiuo Hong. Yang Xiaoshan said calmly. How dare you? An emperor-level master behind Jiuo Hong scolded Yang Xiaoshan. You dare to call our crown prince by his name without greeting him when you see him. Crown prince? Yang Xiaoshan said coldly. He is the crown prince of your Four Continents Empire, not our Shenlong Empire. In my eyes, he is just a tuft of hair. A tuft of hair? Everyone in the Shenlong Empire looked at the shiny tuft of hair on Jiuo Hong's head and laughed. When the masters of the Four Continents Empire heard that their crown prince had become a piece of hair in Yang Xiaoshan's mouth, they were all furious and drew their swords. Chapter 246. You can't even take my punch. Just when the masters of the Four Continents Empire were about to take action, Jiuo Hong stretched out his hand and stopped them. Yang Xiaoshan, I heard that you are known as the young martial god in the Dragon Empire. Jiuo Hong looked at Yang Xiaoshan proudly. Do you think that you, an 11th level martial soul, are also qualified to be called the young martial god? In my eyes, no matter what godhead you have condensed, an 11th level martial soul is just a complete waste. Since I stepped into the Dragon Empire, no martial master can take 3 of my moves. I just don't know if you can take 3 of my moves. Jiuo Hong's voice was full of mockery and ridicule. Hearing Jiuo Hong's ridicule of Yang Xiaoshan, everyone in the Dragon Empire around him was furious. Yang Xiaoshan stepped forward and came to Jiuo Hong. Go ahead, wait, I will hit you with Shuriken 100 times. 100 times of Shuriken. Jiuo Hong looked confused. Obviously he had never heard of Shuriken. Seeing Yang Xiaoshan accept the challenge, he smiled brightly. Yang Xiaoshan, have you thought it through? Do you really want to take my 3 moves? Then he said, you just broke through the martial arts sect not long ago. If you dare not take my 3 moves, no one will laugh at you. If you, a young martial arts god, accept the challenge, but can't take my 3 moves, and I beat you to a pulp, that would be hilarious. Jiuo Hong's laughter echoed. Yang Xiaoshan walked towards Jiuo Hong with a blank expression. Jiuo Hong saw it, but he was not in a hurry to attack, and also walked towards Yang Xiaoshan. Just when he was a few meters away from Yang Xiaoshan, suddenly, Jiuo Hong rushed out with a step and punched Yang Xiaoshan in the chest, his eyes fierce. Thousand-fold Wild Wave Fist. Thousand-fold Wild Wave Fist is one of the most powerful supreme magical powers in the Four Continents Empire. After practicing to the pinnacle, a punch can draw the power of water in the surrounding space, turning it into thousands of huge waves and bombarding the enemy. Moreover, the power of the thousand-fold huge waves is extremely terrifying after continuous superposition. The distance was close again, and Jiuo Hong suddenly attacked again. Everyone was so nervous that their hearts were in their throats. Some female disciples of the family even covered their eyes, fearing that they would see Yang Xiaoshan being blown away. Boom. The Thousand Waves Fist, as expected, hit Yang Xiaoshan. The spatial water power generated by the Thousand Waves Fist completely submerged Yang Xiaoshan. Yang Xiaoshan took all of Jiuo Hong's Thousand Waves Fist. Jiuo Hong saw it and laughed. Is this the young martial god? He can't even take a punch from me. But just as he finished speaking, the spatial water power generated by the Thousand Waves Fist suddenly exploded, and Yang Xiaoshan stood there, motionless. Jiuo Hong was stunned. Everyone in the Dragon Empire cheered and shouted. The female disciples of the family who were originally worried to death were even more excited, and their faces flushed. They shouted wildly, Yang Shen, you are so strong. The coquettish voice was so coquettish that even Yang Xiaoshan couldn't stand it. Jiuo Hong and the people of the Four Continents Empire looked at Yang Xiaoshan in disbelief. You know, since Jiuo Hong entered the Shenlong Empire, no martial sect has been able to withstand Jiuo Hong's Thousand Waves Fist's full force. not to mention standing there and being hit by the thousand waves fist. You. Jiuo Hang stared at Yang Xiaoshan with an ugly face. You are wearing the True Dragon Holy Armor? The True Dragon sect has a super holy artifact level True Dragon Holy Armor, which is also one of the 3 most defensive holy armors in the Shenlong Empire. It has invincible defense and ignores the bombardment of masters of the same realm. Seeing that Yang Xiaoshan completely withstood his thousand waves fist and was fine, Jiuo Hang mistakenly thought that Yang Xiaoshan was wearing the True Dragon Holy Armor. Yang Xiaoshan didn't explain and directly blasted out with sheer force. The speed was so fast that Jiuo Hang couldn't react at all. Boom. Just like the previous blast on the belly of the barefoot old demon and others, the sound was like a drum. Jiuo Hang was blasted back like a lobster. Your Highness. Seeing Jiuo Hang being blown away, a Saint Realm ancestor of the 4 Continents Empire was shocked and quickly took action to catch Jiuo Hang. Even so, Jiuo Hang still spit out a large mouthful of blood, his face full of pain, and he couldn't even speak. The power of Shuriken was constantly destroying his internal organs. Looking at Jiuo Hang's face, that was completely changed by pain, the barefoot old demon swallowed his dry throat. Yang Xiaoshan, you dare to hurt my Royal Highness the Crown Prince of the 4 Continents Empire. The Saint Realm ancestor who caught Jiuo Hang saw Jiuo Hang's extremely painful expression, and he couldn't help but be furious. At the same time, he suddenly slapped Yang Xiaoshan with a palm. Suddenly, the violent force caused the space to shake. Everyone around was terrified and angry at the same time. Yang Xiaoshan and Jiuo Hang were just competing normally, but the Saint Realm ancestor of the 4 Continents Empire not only intervened, but also attacked Yang Xiaoshan openly. Isn't it shameless for a Saint Realm patriarch to attack a martial sect? But at this moment, suddenly, a sharp sword energy passed through the sky. The 4 Continents Empire patriarch screamed, and everyone looked over and saw that the palm of his hand that attacked was cut off at the wrist and fell to the ground, and the blood splattered the surrounding ground red. Everyone was shocked. The 4 Continents Empire patriarch who just attacked was in the early 10th level of the Saint Realm. An early 10th level Saint Realm patriarch had his palm cut off by a sword. Everyone looked at the barefoot demon next to Yang Xiaoshan. It was the barefoot demon who just attacked. The barefoot demon was looking at the 4 Continents Empire patriarch with a cold face. At this time, everyone was surprised to find that the 4 people following Yang Xiaoshan were not decorations. Everyone was shocked. What kind of strength is it to be able to cut off the palm of a Saint Realm patriarch in the early 10th level with a sword? Who are you? The ancestor of the 4 Continents Empire stared at the barefoot demon wearing a ghost head mask in shock and anger. Dare to interfere in the affairs of my 4 Continents Empire. My 4 Continents Empire will destroy your sect. The barefoot demon kicked the other party in the face. The ancestor of the 4 Continents Empire, along with Jiuo Hang, was kicked and flew away, and even many masters of the 4 Continents Empire were knocked away. When the ancestor of the 4 Continents Empire fell on the street in the distance, he was seen with blood all over his face, and even his facial bones were kicked. After a long time, he got up from the ground, looked at the barefoot demon in fear, and did not dare to say anything, so he took Jiuo Hang away. Who asked you to leave? Yang Xiaoshan said coldly, our competition is not over yet. I said, I will bombard Shuriken 100 times. Jiuo Hang's face changed. At first, he didn't know what Yang Xiaoshan meant by Shuriken, but after that just now, he had completely understood the horror of Shuriken mentioned by Yang Xiaoshan. He almost vomited by laughter just one attack, and he couldn't imagine what would happen if he was attacked 100 times. Yang Xiaoshan, don't push your luck. Jiuo Hang was furious. If anything happens to me, not to mention the True Dragon sect, even the Divine Dragon Imperial family can't save your life. Really? Yang Xiaoshan finished speaking and suddenly blasted out another sheer force. Chapter 247, The Blast. Seeing Yang Xiaoshan coming, Jiuo Hang roared in anger. Yang Xiaoshan, I don't believe that I, the dignified prince of the 4 continents, will lose to you. At this point, he suddenly urged all his true essence, and the power of the 10th peak of the martial arts sect surged out like a tsunami. At the same time, a golden elixir appeared above his head. The golden elixir shone with blood red light. Guo Han condensed the red blood golden elixir among the top grade golden elixirs. They are both top grade golden elixirs, but the red blood golden elixir is stronger than the top grade golden elixir condensed by Yu Yi. Guo Han had an extra sword in his hand. Under the crazy urging of the red blood golden elixir, the cold light in his sword was constantly swallowing. Flying dragon in the sky. He jumped up, like a flying dragon, and stabbed out with a sword. The sword energy seemed to cross the endless space, and stabbed Yang Xiaoshen's chest with a sword. The blood light swallowed the sky, and the sword energy was ethereal. Seeing Guo Han's sword, many elders of the surrounding sects all changed their faces. Flying dragon in the sky is the famous magical power of Flying Dragon Sword Saint. Who is Flying Dragon Sword Saint? In terms of swordsmanship, he is second only to the Green Lotus Sword God. Looking at the opponent's Flying Dragon Sword, Yang Xiaoshen ignored it and continued to hit the opponent's belly with his fist strength. Boom. Guo Han was knocked back and fell to the ground far away, vomiting blood and looking extremely painful. But just when Yang Xiaoshen's fist hit Guo Han's Flying Dragon Sword also stabbed Yang Xiaoshen's chest. Everyone couldn't help but look at Yang Xiaoshen's chest, but saw that there was no blood at the place where Guo Han's long sword stabbed. It was just that the clothes were a little torn. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. Especially the elders of the sect who knew the power of the Flying Dragon in the Sky Sword were even more shocked. Back then, the Flying Dragon Sword Saint swept across the Invincible with the Flying Dragon in the Sky Sword. There was no opponent at the same level, and even enemies with higher levels than him could hardly block this sword. Now, Yang Xiaoshen was not hurt at all. Yang Xiaoshen's defense was so terrifying. During the True Dragon assessment a year ago, Yu Yi used the power of the 5 sword monuments on the sword path, but it could not shake Yang Xiaoshen's True Dragon Tyrant body. Moreover, now, Yang Xiaoshen has awakened nearly 7,000 True Yuan dragons, and the True Dragon Tyrant body has been fully developed. No matter how powerful Guo Han's Flying Dragon in the Sky Sword is, it is impossible to break the fully developed True Dragon Tyrant body. It was because the True Dragon Tyrant body had already been fully developed that Yang Xiaoshen dared to take the opponent's sword. Seeing that his Flying Dragon in the Sky Sword could not hurt Yang Xiaoshen, Guo Han's face finally changed drastically. At this moment, despair and helplessness surged in his heart. He finally understood how those martial masters of the Dragon Empire felt when they could not even take one of his moves. At this moment, Yang Xiaoshen punched out again. Yang Xiaoshen, you dare. The masters of the 4 continents empire were furious and wanted to attack. However, just as the masters of the 4 continents empire were about to attack, suddenly, countless sword ki fell. All the masters of the 4 continents empire were blown away by the sword energy, including the one who was in the early 10th level of the Saint Realm. With one sword, dozens of masters of the 4 continents empire were defeated. Seeing this scene, even Li Qian and Gu Shaozong in the crowd were shocked. Especially Li Qian. She looked at the barefoot old demon with fear. The black-clothed man wearing a ghost head mask in front of her was so strong that he was probably not weaker than her grandfather. This person was definitely not a master of the True Dragon Divine Sect. When did Yang Xiaoshen have such a peerless strongman by his side? Boom. Yang Xiaoshen's third punch hit Guo Han. Guo Han was blown away and rolled all the way to the ground. Yang Xiaoshen flew up and punched him again. Guo Han was blown away again. Then, Yang Xiaoshen's 5th punch, 6th punch, 7th punch. Seeing Guo Han, the prince of the 4 continents empire, being blown away by Yang Xiaoshen's punches, everyone was so shocked that they couldn't speak for a long time. Yang Xiaoshen, the 4 continents empire's master, screamed with bloodshot eyes. As Yang Xiaoshen's Shura power continued to blast out, Guo Han had already fainted. However, every time he fainted, he was awakened again by Yang Xiaoshen's Shura power. So, he kept fainting and being awakened. When Yang Xiaoshen finished blasting Shura power 100 times, Guo Han had already rolled out of the imperial capital and smashed into the deep mountains outside the imperial capital. Everyone looked at the 4 continents prince lying on the rubble in the deep mountains, and they all gasped. Is this still a human? He has been destroyed to the point that he can't recognize a human at all. Even the barefoot old demon, Xian Zhengai and the other four looked at Jiuo Hong with pity. This poor kid, why did he provoke their young master? Li Qian Qian and Gu Shaozong in the crowd looked at Jiuo Hong's miserable appearance, and their hands and feet trembled, and deep fear surged in their hearts. Originally, when the two came out of the restaurant, they were still thinking about competing with Yang Xiaoshan in alchemy. Now, even if they were given 100 bellies, they would not dare to compete with Yang Xiaoshan again. After bombarding the Shura force 100 times, Yang Xiaoshan took the barefoot old demon, Xian Zhengai and the other four and flew away. After Yang Xiaoshan and the others left a long way, the people of the Four Continents Empire rushed to Jiuo Hong tremblingly and pulled the unrecognizable Jiuo Hong out of the pile of stones. Looking at Jiuo Hong, who was destroyed to the point of being unrecognizable, the eyes of the people of the Four Continents Empire were filled with tears. Your Majesty, we are sorry for you. The ancestor of the early 10th level of the Holy Realm cried to the sky. Our prince was destroyed so badly. A moment later, Yang Xiaoshan came to the Imperial Palace and met King Xuan and Longlan, as well as King Xuan's father Long Jie. When King Xuan heard that Yang Xiaoshan was coming, she immediately rushed out of the palace. When she saw Yang Xiaoshan from a distance, she waved and shouted happily, "Brother Xiaoshan." Longlan came up and smiled at Yang Xiaoshan. "You kid, you made such a big deal as soon as you came to the imperial capital." The news that Yang Xiaoshan had beaten Jiuo Hong to a pulp had just spread throughout the imperial capital. Afterwards, Longlan introduced King Xuan's father, Long Jie, to Yang Xiaoshan. "Your Majesty." Yang Xiaoshan clasped his fists and said. Long Jie nodded and smiled. "I have heard of your reputation, Yang Shenwei, and today I see that you are indeed a heroic young man." Yang Xiaoshan was embarrassed by what he said. "Brother Xiaoshan, thank you." King Xuan held Yang Xiaoshan's hand and said happily. Obviously, her brother Xiaoshan knew that she was bullied by Jiuo Hong and came to avenge her. "How are you injured?" Yang Xiaoshan asked. King Xuan heard Yang Xiaoshan's concern for her and smiled sweetly. "It's fine now." Then she waved her little arm to show Yang Xiaoshan, and then said, "If I practice for a few more years, Jiuo Hong will definitely not be my opponent." Afterwards, Longlan and the others welcomed Yang Xiaoshan into the main hall, and then asked people to prepare a banquet and sit down with Yang Xiaoshan. Long Jie smiled to Yang Xiaoshan. "I heard from King Xuan that your barbecue is delicious. Next time, I must try it carefully." Yang Xiaoshan laughed. "King Xuan is just talking nonsense. It's just ordinary barbecue." King Xuan wrinkled his nose and said, "I'm not talking nonsense." The others laughed. At night, Yang Xiaoshan stayed in the palace arranged by Long Jie. Long Jie and Long Lan talked about the four barefoot old demons around Yang Xiaoshan. Chapter 248 Imprisoned in Prison Mountain for 10 years. "What do you think of those four people?" Long Jie asked thoughtfully. Long Lan pondered and said, "The one who attacked today should be in the late 10th level of the Holy Realm." He meant the barefoot old demon. Then he said, "This person is definitely not Long Hao and Deng Hanqing." However, in the entire True Dragon Divine sect, only Long Hao and Deng Hanqing are in the late 10th level of the Holy Realm. Long Jie smiled and said, "This little guy's not simple." Suddenly he said, "You said he is really only a level 11 martial soul?" Long Lan was stunned. "Brother, do you mean that Xiaoshan's martial soul has evolved to the 12th level? Both his twin martial souls can evolve. Maybe they have evolved to the 12th level." Long Jie guessed. Just when Long Jie guessed that Yang Xiaoshan's martial soul could have evolved to the 12th level, all parties were shocked by the fact that Yang Xiaoshan punched Jiuo Hong, the prince of the four continents. The main hall of the Tatian sect was once again dead silent. Wu Peng was still sitting on the throne in the main hall. Above the main hall sat the ancestors of the Tatian sect and the leader of the Tatian sect, Lin Yu. "Who can tell me what's going on?" Wu Peng's face was extremely gloomy, and his voice suppressed his rage. "It's been a year. Why is Yang Xiaoshan still alive and well? A year ago, they spent a lot of money to invite the number one killer, Hades, to take action. But a year later, Yang Xiaoshan is still alive and kicking. Now, they have spent a lot of money to invite the barefoot old demon to take action, and Yang Xiaoshan is still eating delicious food and drinking spicy drinks. Yang Ocean is still fine. The ancestors of the Tatian sect and Lin Yu felt Wu Peng's rage, and they were all silent, and no one dared to speak. Haven't you contacted Hades yet? Wu Peng said angrily, thinking of the fact that Hades has disappeared without a trace and no news since he took the treasure. He was furious. Not yet. The ancestor of the gods, Tang Hong, shook his head and said, since Hades took the Hades Pearl a year ago, there has been no news. He took my Hades Pearl, but didn't kill Yang Ocean. Did Hades really think that my Tatian sect dare not destroy him? An ancestor was hot-tempered and said angrily, will Hades be in trouble? Tang Hong pondered. Impossible. The hot-tempered old ancestor shook his head and said, only Yang Zhenking and Longzhu can kill Hades, but our people said that Yang Zhenking and Longzhu have never left the forbidden area of the True Dragon sect. Moreover, if Yang Zhenking and Longzhu take action, there will definitely be a lot of noise. It is impossible that there will be no noise. This is exactly what Wu Peng is puzzled about. Could it be that there is another master of the divine realm beside Yang Ocean? Lin Yu, the leader of the Tatian sect, suddenly said. Wu Peng heard it and immediately said, impossible. The masters of the divine realm in our divine dragon empire can be counted on one hand. The masters of the divine realm are supreme. Do you think they will be used by Yang Ocean, a small martial sect? Everyone was silent. Check who the 4 masters with ghost heads and masks beside Yang Ocean are. Wu Peng's eyes flickered. Yes, ancestor. Lin Yu hurriedly said respectfully. At this time, the True Dragon sect was also arguing. Ancestor Deng Han King said angrily, Jiuo Hong is the prince of the 4 continents empire. Among all the sons, he is the most loved by the 4 continents emperor. Now Yang Ocean has brutally abused the prince of the 4 continents. Isn't this bringing disaster to our True Dragon divine sect? Long Heo also said, the 4 continents empire has just sent an envoy and asked us to give an explanation to the 4 continents empire. Then he looked at Hunan and said, the 4 continents empire asked us to abolish Yang Ocean's cultivation and hand Yang Ocean over to them to take back to the 4 continents empire. Hunan glanced at Deng Han King and Long Heo. What you 2 ancestors mean is that we should abolish Yang Ocean's cultivation and then hand Yang Ocean over to them to take back to the 4 continents empire? Deng Han King looked hesitant and said, that's not what I meant either. However, Yang Ocean, as the son of god of my True Dragon divine sect, has brutally abused the prince of the 4 continents and brought disaster to our True Dragon divine sect. Our True Dragon divine sect should punish him and put him in prison mountain for 10 years. The True Dragon divine sect has a prison mountain, which is specially used to detain disciples who have committed crimes. However, only sect disciples who have committed serious mistakes will be imprisoned in prison mountain. Prison mountain is a place with poor mountains and bad water, no spiritual energy, and poisonous substances everywhere. Therefore, disciples of the True Dragon divine sect are terrified when talking about prison mountain. Once, a core disciple of the True Dragon divine sect was imprisoned in prison mountain for 10 years. After he came out, he became crazy. Now, Deng Han King proposed to imprison Yang Ocean in prison mountain for 10 years. Hunan looked at Long Heo, but Long Heo did not speak. The other ancestors did not speak either. The sect master's wife Liu Ping said, I also think we should discipline Yang Ocean more. We can't let him do this all the time. It's not a bad thing to put him in prison mountain to temper his character. Hearing Liu Ping say that putting Yang Ocean in prison mountain would be a good thing for Yang Ocean, Hunan's face darkened. He stared at Liu Ping and said, Ocean and Jiuo Hong were just sparring normally. Jiuo Hong was not as skilled as Ocean and lost to Ocean. It's ridiculous that the envoy still had the nerve to come to my True Dragon sect to shout. At this point, he said, the 4 continents empire and my Shenlong empire have always been hostile. Yang Ocean's defeat of the 4 continents prince is a facelift for my Shenlong empire and my True Dragon sect. Yang Ocean is not only innocent, but also has great merits. Then he said to his elders, throw the envoy of the 4 continents empire out for me. Yang Ocean stayed in the imperial palace for a few days before returning to the True Dragon sect. He couldn't stay in the imperial palace forever. Moreover, he had not yet begun to comprehend the sword path of the True Dragon divine sect. This time when he returned, He planned to try the sword path carefully to see if he could use the power of the sword monument of the sword path to condense his own sword intent. For a sword master, only by condensing his own sword intent can he be considered a true sword cultivator. Yang Xiaoshan returned to the True Dragon Divine Sect. King Zuan was naturally reluctant to let him go. He sent Yang Xiaoshan out of the imperial capital and refused to leave for a long time. Just when Yang Xiaoshan returned to the True Dragon Divine Sect, Jiuo Hong and the Masters of the Four Continents Empire also began to return to the Four Continents Empire. Under the day and night treatment of the Masters of the Four Continents Empire, Jiuo Hong's injuries had recovered a little, but when he walked, he still shrank his belly and hunched his waist, and he couldn't stand up straight. Jiuo Hong hunched his waist and roared, "Yang Xiaoshan, wait for me to go back. I must lead the troops to destroy you and the True Dragon Divine Sect." However, when he finished speaking, his belly twitched violently. "When will my master come back?" Jiuo Hong asked his men. The master he was talking about was the Flying Dragon Sword Saint. Master Fi Lang will not be back from Beast God Mountain for another half a year. The 10th level Saint Realm Ancestor said hurriedly. Half a year. Jiuo Hong gritted his teeth and said, "Yang Xiaoshan, I will let you live for another half a year. After half a year, I will blast your belly 1,000 times. Blast you into pieces." Chapter 249, Comprehending the Path of the Sword. Yang Xiaoshan returned to the True Dragon Sect. When he returned to Tangshan Peak, his sister Yang Linga kept asking questions, asking about the scene of Jiuo Hong being hit, and asking how Jiuo Hong's belly was now. Yang Xiaoshan was sweating. Why did you care about his belly? But he still smiled and said, Jiuo Hong should have walked with a hunched back in the past few months. Yang Linga smiled so hard that her eyes curved. You don't know how relieved the True Dragon Sect disciples were when you hit Jiuo Hong's belly 100 times. Many True Dragon Sect disciples even held a large celebration party. After Jiuo Hong entered the Dragon Empire, he threatened to challenge all the martial sects of the Dragon Empire alone. His arrogance made all the disciples of the Dragon Empire hate him. Now, Yang Xiaoshan punched Jiuo Hong, and the news spread. Not only did the True Dragon Sect disciples cheer, but the disciples of all sects and schools in the Dragon Empire cheered. Yang Xiaoshan smiled when he heard it. But brother, before you came back, the Four Continents Empire sent an envoy. The envoy threatened to have the True Dragon Sect abolish your cultivation, and then hand you over to them to take you back to the Four Continents Empire. Yang Linga said angrily. What's infuriating is that Deng Hanqing, Long Hao and Li Yuping all think that you are causing trouble for the True Dragon Sect, and said that they will put you in Prison Mountain for 10 years as a punishment. Yang Linga said excitedly. Li Yuping also said that putting you in Prison Mountain will temper your character and is good for you. Oh. Yang Xiaoshan remained calm. It was Deng Hanqing who first proposed to put you in Prison Mountain for 10 years. Li Yuping agreed. Although Long Hao didn't say anything, he didn't object. Yang Linga said. Yang Xiaoshan nodded. Okay, I know. Then he smiled and said, this time I came back from the imperial capital. I brought you a lot of candies. At this point, he took out a space ring. When he opened it, there were all kinds of delicious candies inside, which made Yang Linga cheer. At night, Yang Xiaoshan stood against the wind, standing on the tall Tangshan monument, looking at the end of the night sky. The end of the night sky is the direction of the sword path. This time, he did not let the barefoot old demon, Xian Zhengai, the Thousand Snake Sword Master, and the Blood Prison Swordsman follow him back. These four people have huge power under their command. He has ordered the four to use all their power to help him find the sevenfold heavenly tribulation thunder water, the divine fire, and the innate refined un. With the power of the four, perhaps, they should be able to find out the news of the sevenfold heavenly tribulation thunder water, the divine fire, and the innate refined un. However, thinking of Deng Hanqing, Long Hao, and Li Yuping, Yang Xiaoshan's eyes were cold. The night became darker. Yang Xiaoshan sat cross-legged on the cold jade bed in the palace, practicing the dragon art. Now, he has awakened the power of nearly 7,000 real dragons. He has to work hard to impact the power of 10,000 real dragons. As long as he awakens the power of 10,000 real dragons, not only can he grow dragon wings on his back, but his real dragon hegemony body can also evolve into a real dragon emperor body again. By then, his true dragon body defense will be stronger. When Yang Xiaoshan stopped practicing, it was already bright. After Yang Xiaoshan ate the cakes prepared by his mother, he and his sister Yang Linga came to the Sword Road. It has been more than a year since Yang Xiaoshan joined the True Dragon Divine Sect, but this is his first time to come to the Sword Road. Many True Dragon Divine Sect disciples gathered in front of the Sword Road, including inner disciples, core disciples and even holy disciples. Meet the Son of God. Many disciples of the True Dragon Divine Sect bowed and saluted when they saw Yang Xiaoshan coming. Hu Yu, Yu Yi, Zhu Maonio, Fang Xiaoqiang, Huang Xin, and Wang Yao were all there. Seeing Yang Xiaoshan, Hu Yu snorted coldly, and he and Yu Yi didn't look happy. Yang Xiaoshan ignored Hu Yu and the others and came to the Sword Road. At the beginning of the Sword Road, there stood a 10-meter high sword monument. On the sword monument, there were no sword moves, only a huge ancient sword character. This sword character was carved in the air by someone using sword energy, but it was unknown who carved it. Hu Yu saw Yang Xiao standing in front of the first sword monument and said, Yang Xiaoshan, it's nothing special that you have condensed 6 of the strongest sword hearts. Junior brother Yai has also condensed 6 of the strongest sword hearts. And junior brother Yai has already comprehended 8 sword monuments. Junior brother Yai will definitely become the first sword genius in my True Dragon Sect to reach the end of the sword path. Listening to Hu Yu's resentful and provocative words, Yang Xiaoshan glanced at Yai indifferently. Really? Seeing Yang Xiaoshan's indifferent expression, and his expression of not taking him seriously at all, Yai's face sank, and he said angrily, Yang Xiaoshan, you and I are the same. You have condensed 6 of the strongest sword hearts. If we talk about swordsmanship, I may not lose to you. Hearing Yai say that he and himself have condensed 6 of the strongest sword hearts, Yang Xiaoshan said indifferently, I have a divine golden elixir. Yai choked and his face flushed. There was silence all around. After a long while, Hu Yu said again, Yang Xiaoshan, do you dare to compete with junior brother Yu Yi to see who can comprehend the first 10 sword tablets first? The disciples of the True Dragon Sect looked at Hu Yu with strange faces. Yu Yi had already comprehended 8 sword tablets, while Yang Xiaoshan had not even started to comprehend the first one. Hu Yu was so shameless to come up with such a competition. It was simply shameless. Upon hearing this, Yang Linga could not help but said, Hu Yu, my brother hasn't even started to comprehend the first sword monument, and Yu Yi has already comprehended the 8th. Only a shameless person like you can propose such a competition. Hu Yu sneered. Why, you don't dare? Then he said, you don't dare? Then don't call yourself the son of God. Because you don't have the qualifications at all. Yang Xiaoshan said calmly, whether I'm qualified or not is not up to you to decide. His gaze passed over the sword monuments on the Sword Road and fell on the 10th sword monument. But what if you lose? Yu Yi stepped forward, his whole body filled with sword energy. If I lose, I will never use a sword in my life. If I use a sword, you can cut off my hands. For a sword genius, if he cannot use a sword for the rest of his life, it would be more painful than killing him. Hu Yu also stepped forward and vowed, if junior brother Yai loses, I will never use a sword or practice sword again. Otherwise, you can cut off my hands. Okay. Yang Xiaoshan said, if I lose, I will never use a sword again, and I ask the sect master to remove my status as the son of God. When Yang Linga saw that Yang Xiaoshan agreed to the competition, her face changed, and she was so anxious that she almost cried. Brother, you. According to Yai's speed of comprehension, he can comprehend the 10th sword stele in half a year at most. Even if Yang Xiaoshan has a good talent for swordsmanship, it is impossible for him to comprehend from the first sword stele to the 10th sword stele in half a year. Back then, the founder of the True Dragon Divine Sect took a year and a half to comprehend from the first sword stele to the 10th sword stele. Even her master Hunan, who was praised as the disciple with the best swordsmanship talent in the True Dragon Divine Sect in 1,000 years, took more than 2 years to comprehend the first 10 sword stele. Chapter 250. We have reached the 17th sword monument. The true dragon sect disciples who were present shook their heads when they saw Yang Xiaoshan agreed to compete. Yang Xiaoshan had condensed 6 9-color sword hearts, and his swordsmanship talent was indeed amazing, but everyone thought it was impossible for him to comprehend the first 10 sword tablets within half a year. No one was optimistic about Yang Xiaoshan. If Yang Shen loses, won't he be unable to use the sword in the future? A core disciple worriedly said, Yang Shen has the appearance of a sword god. If he can't use the sword in the future, how can he become a sword god? Many true dragon sect disciples thought of this problem, and they all showed worry on their faces. Originally, Yang Xiaoshan had the hope of becoming a sword god in the future, but because of this bet, he ruined his chance to become a sword god in the future. What a pity. Zhu Miao, Fang Xiaoqiang, Huang Xin, and Wang Yao were all secretly ecstatic when they saw that Yang Xiaoshan was stimulated by Hu Yu and really agreed to compete. If he couldn't use the sword in the future, Yang Xiaoshan's swordsmanship talent could be said to be wasted. Seeing his sister Yang Linga was about to cry, Yang Xiaoshan comforted her. Don't worry, brother will win. Hu Yu sneered when she heard Yang Xiaoshan say that he would win. In fact, this trap today was set by them a long time ago. Her mother expected that Yang Xiaoshan would come to the sword road to comprehend the sword stele after returning from the imperial capital this time. Yang Xiaoshan, let's start. Yu Yi didn't waste any words. The shadows of 8 sword stealers appeared behind him. Then he took a step and walked through the first sword stele and the second sword stele safely until the 8th sword stele. Only by comprehending the sword stele will you not be attacked by the power of the sword stele on the sword road. Otherwise, as soon as you step into the sword road, you will be bombarded by the power of the sword stele and cannot move forward at all. Yu Yi came directly to the 9th sword stele and began to comprehend the 9th sword stele. Everyone couldn't help but look at Yang Xiaoshan. Everyone wanted to see how Yang Xiaoshan comprehended the first sword stele. Junior brother Yu Yi only took 3 days to comprehend the first sword stele. How many days did Yang Shen take? Said a core disciple. It's hard to say. Hundreds of years ago, there was a disciple with excellent sword talent. His talent was as high as that of junior brother Yai, but he took a full 5 days to comprehend the first sword stele. Another core disciple shook his head. Although Yang Xiaoshan's sword talent was better than Yao Yi, it might take him longer to comprehend the first sword stele. Under the gaze of everyone, Yang Xiaoshan's golden light shone, and the divine golden elixir flew out of his body. When the divine golden elixir flew out, even though Yang Xiaoshan had tried his best to suppress the power of the golden elixir, the moment it appeared, the earth still shook, and all the disciples around were suffocated and retreated in shock. When the divine golden elixir shone, all the disciples saw that the surface of the sword road was actually covered with sword runes. Moreover, the sword rays of all the sword monuments shone. These sword stealers and the sword runes on the road intertwined, forming a mysterious sword pattern above the sword road. The disciples were stunned. What's going on? For millions of years, the surface of the sword road has been lying there quietly, and no one has ever heard of anyone comprehending a sword stele and causing changes in the sword road. Now, sword symbols appeared one after another. What's going on? Even Hu Yu was stunned. Yang Linga, who was originally anxious to cry, was also stunned. She didn't expect that her brother's divine golden elixir could cause such a big change in the sword path. Yang Xiaoshan's eyes fell on the first sword monument. In his eyes, the sword characters on the sword monument began to change constantly. Everyone saw that behind Yang Xiaoshan, the sword energy condensed, and a shadow of a sword monument appeared. This is impossible. Hu Yu, Fang Xiaoqiang and others screamed. Condensing the shadow of the sword monument means that this sword monument has been thoroughly understood. However, Yang Xiaoshan comprehended the first sword monument in less than 10 breaths. He comprehended the first sword monument in less than 10 breaths. All the disciples and Yang Linga present were stunned. What on earth is going on? Even if her brother's sword talent is higher than Yu Yi's, it is impossible for him to comprehend the first sword monument so quickly. Is it because of the power of the divine golden elixir? Yang Xiaoshan walked past the first sword monument and came to the second sword monument and began to comprehend the second sword monument. He must have been lucky just now. I don't believe he can comprehend the second sword monument so quickly. Huyu was a little hysterical. But at this moment, suddenly, the sword energy behind Yang Xiaoshan surged, and the shadow of the second sword monument condensed. Looking at the shadow of the second sword monument behind Yang Xiaoshan, Huyu's face turned pale. Yang Xiaoshan continued to come to the third sword monument. Then, the fourth, fifth, and sixth. Soon, Yang Xiaoshan came to the ninth. Here, it was already deep in the sword road. Yu was in front of the ninth sword monument, comprehending the ninth sword monument, and found that the sword symbol appeared on the surface of the sword road. Seeing this strange scene, he couldn't help but lose his mind. When he came back to his senses, he found that someone suddenly walked up from behind. He looked closely, and it was as if he saw a ghost, Yang Xiaoshan. Then, he saw the shadows of the 8 sword monuments condensed behind Yang Xiaoshan. Yu's lips trembled, and he spoke incoherently. 8 sword monuments? How is this possible? He remembered that he had only entered the sword road for a while, and Yang Xiaoshan had clearly not walked through the sword road before. But then he saw that less than 10 breaths after Yang Xiaoshan arrived at the 9th sword monument, the sword energy condensed again behind him, and the 9th sword monument appeared. Yang Xiaoshan continued to walk towards the 10th sword monument. Watching Yang Xiaoshan continue to walk towards the 10th sword monument, Yu was stunned and had completely forgotten why the flowers were so red. After a while, Yang Xiaoshan comprehended the 10th sword monument, but he did not stop, but continued to walk towards the 11th sword monument. Every time Yang Xiaoshan comprehended a sword monument, the light of the sword monument would appear above the sword road. The 11th one. The people outside the sword road saw the light of the sword monument emerging from the depths of the sword road, and their faces were stunned. How long did it take? It seems less than a quarter of an hour. Huyu looked at the light of the sword monument that lingered for a long time above the sword road. Her face was as hen. Her hand holding the sword trembled. Soon, Yang Xiaoshan finished comprehending the 11th sword monument, followed by the 12th, the 13th. Seeing Yang Xiaoshan walking towards the end of the sword path step by step, everyone at the scene was dumbfounded. Is he going to the end of the sword path? A core disciple stammered. Quick, report to the master. A core disciple suddenly reacted and shouted excitedly. With Yang Xiaoshan's current speed, I'm afraid he will reach the end of the sword path soon. If Yang Xiaoshan really reaches the end of the sword path, it will be a shocking event for the true dragon sect. At this time, Hunan was practicing a set of Mandarin duck and butterfly sword with his wife Liu Ping, and they were flirting with each other, but saw a deacon running in a panic. Master, it's bad. Yang Shen comprehended the sword path today. Hunan heard this, and looked at the deacon unhappily. Do you need to report to him for this? He has already comprehended the 17th sword monument. The deacon panted. Hunan's hand trembled, and the Mandarin duck sword in his hand almost pierced Liu Ping's big chest. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.